What is going on, Headliner Nation? It's happened. I mean, we may be a couple days past Halloween, but Kyle basically does not care about dates right now. He didn't get to do this on Halloween, so he figured he'd take it upon himself to show off some chest hair and gold chains here on the live show Saturday night for Week 9 fantasy football. Kyle, I love it.
What's going on?
I mean, yeah. You got a little you know, harnessing your inner Gardner Minshew. I see.
I am. I was like, you know what? I'm going to dress up tonight. I'm going to have a little fun. I got the headband out that I did for my tight end workout video a few weeks back.
I mean, you're looking great. I mean,
looking good. Someone's saying 6 shades. Someone asked, is this Minshew?
I mean, a lot of people couldn't pull off the look, Kyle, but apparently you figured it out. I don't have the hair to pull off that look. It would just look weird. I would look like not normal. But hey, you're doing a great job. Are you ready to answer a butt ton of fantasy football questions tonight? Because we are getting, lit up in the chats already. We greatly appreciate this support. Once again, before we get into it, as you can see, the chats are going to get out of control. We're going to do our best to answer as many as we possibly can, but obviously we can't get to them all. So we have already posted all of our rankings videos and our start sit videos here for the week. Make sure you head over to those videos after this live stream. Got a question? Leave it there and we'll try to get to you. But Kyle, I think it's time that we start to help the people.
It is.
Do you want to start helping people, or would you rather just, rock out with your... Oh, never mind. Never.
I would like to send one more message so people make sure that they can see the live stream.
Okay, well, let's do that. Make sure everybody can, check out this great outfit that you have on.
And there we go.
Perfect. So it's good.
We are ready to roll. Let me jump back here to our questions real quick. Number 1. Coming from Rolando. I don't have my glasses on, so let's run
this
with
ought
this
to be
here.
interesting. You can't pronounce names when you can see. When you're partially blind, we're not going to do a great job.
Rolando needs to know flex 1. We're flexing 1. Gallup or Jaylen Samuels?
That is really tough. I think the safer option here has to be Jaylen Samuels, right? I mean, with James Conner being doubtful, with no Benny Snell, Jaylen Samuels coming back could get a huge workflow, and that's definitely kind of what we're looking for in a flex spot. Somebody who's going to get those guaranteed touches. I like Michael Gallup, but I'm going with the safety of the running back there with Samuels.
And then now we need one in a super flex league. Gallup, Samuels, Mayfield, or Rudolph?
Am I crazy for thinking it should be Samuels again?
I think that's where your guaranteed volume is going to come from.
I mean, I know
I don't mind Rudolph at all. I think he's got a decent floor. I just don't think he has much upside.
And I know you're not a big fan of Mayfield here this week. He wasn't inside your top 20. So if that's the case, then I think Jaylen Samuels becomes the safest option there.
Rolando hitting us up with another question right after that. What do you suspect will be the fantasy implications of Kenyon Drake once all the running backs are healthy on that team?
This is a big question, and it's something we've seen a lot here recently. Everybody wants to know, why didn't you have Kenyon Drake as a start? Well, A, he'd been with the team for 3 days. B, he was going up against the San Francisco 49ers on a short week on a Thursday night. I don't think anybody was expecting that kind of performance, but he fits this offense perfectly, and I talked about it in the start sit video. This is the type of offense that really can make Kenyon Drake into a solid high-end RB2 on a weekly basis as a floor. The problem is, once David Johnson, Chase Edmonds get healthy, what do they do in this backfield? I think it's going to be, fix the locks. I think it's going to be a really touchy situation. It's kind of going to be who gets the touchdown that week, and it could be one of those backfields that just turns into a big headache. Honestly, at this point, I know I hate to say this for the David Johnson owners, but if you're a Kenyon Drake owner, you're hoping that David Johnson's out a few weeks.
Rolando says, much love to you back, Rolando.
Oh, God, no, start whispering.
Danny Martinez, Josh Allen or Jameis Winston as my start this week. I have Allen just a tidbit higher.
Did you say a tidmit?
I don't know what I said.
I think you did. I think you did. I caught it.
Josh Taylor wants to know John Brown or Phillip Lindsey PPR flex.
Well, John Brown has kind of underwhelmed as of late. I think Phillip Lindsey may be slightly safer, especially since we're talking about that running back in that flex spot. So Lindsey may be safer. John Brown has that big play upside, but lately, some of those touches are going towards either Cole Beasley or even Devin Singletary now out of the backfield. So I still think Phillip Lindsey is probably a little bit safer.
Corvette Foster wants to know, hey guys, in a PPR, are we starting Lamar or Carr? Also, are we starting N'Keal Harry this week? You talked about N'Keal Harry first.
I'm not this week. I know a lot of people are super excited about N'Keal Harry, but there's still a lot of options in New England. You still got Julian Edelman, and you got Philip Dorsett, and Jacoby Myers, and now you have Mohamed Sanu in the mix. Give N'Keal Harry a couple weeks. This is definitely somebody who could have some value in the next coming weeks, but this week I'm a little skeptical.
Okay, now back to his question about his quarterback for Lamar or Carr. Even though I think Carr has a tremendous ceiling this week, it is hard for me to put Lamar Jackson on my bench because he's either going to throw it or he's going to run it, but he's still going to accumulate a heck of a lot of yards this weekend, I think. So it would be hard for me to sit Lamar Jackson. I will say this, if you're like, man, I'm down this week or I'm projected to lose or whatever it may be, I don't know what you're laughing at over there.
Don't worry about it.
I feel like you may have got a message from somebody about me.
I may have.
Do I know who this person is?
You probably do.
So if you're throwing a dart this week and you're like, I just need something, it's Carr. But if you want to be safe, just keep Lamar Jackson in there. Mitchell Adams wants to know Beckham or Montgomery in the flex standard league. Keep up the good work, guys. Appreciate it, Mitchell.
Say that again.
Beckham or Montgomery in the flex standard league. Keep up the good work, guys. And I said, appreciate it, Mitchell.
Okay, well, I didn't need all the other context. I just needed the names. But, I'm not on the OBJ bandwagon this week. And it's hard because a lot of people invested in an early round pick. But going up against Chris Harris, he's absolutely been shutting down wide receiver ones. But it's not much of a better matchup for David Montgomery. I know he had a big week last week. In my opinion, I gamble either way. So let me gamble with the guy that I spent the high round draft pick on with that huge ceiling and give me Odell Beckham.
Danny Martinez wants to know, who do I flex? Carson, Mack, Sanu, or Brown? John Brown.
I think Mack may be a little bit safer there. I love Chris Carson. Typically he would be hands down my selection, but going up against Tampa Bay and that run defense there with the Buccaneers, it has me concerned a little bit. There's only been one running back all year that's done anything against Tampa Bay, and it's really been Christian McCaffrey. But the first time they played him, they somewhat limited him as best as you can limit Christian McCaffrey. So I think Carson's more of a risk. I think Mack may be the safest option.
Oh, Stuart Newman wants to know, are we going to go with Kenny Stills or Danny Amendola in a full PPR this week?
In a full PPR, I'm going to have to go with Danny Amendola. The guy's got 16 catches and 200 yards receiving in the past 2 weeks. He's involved in this offense. He's safer in a PPR. Stills is really one of those guys that's going to get you 2, 3, maybe 4 catches, and you're hoping that one of them is a big play. So it's safer to go Amendola.
James wants to know Eagles or Bears defense.
This is rough because the Bears defense sounds great on paper, but they've been really porous the last few weeks. Philadelphia's secondary should start to take a little bit of a step forward here in the coming weeks. I go with the worst quarterback in this situation and go with the defense facing Mitch Trubisky and give me the Eagles.
Yep, I'm liking that call there. Posner 2 wants to know, pick up Robbie Anderson off waivers by dropping Curtis Samuel or Cristian Kirk, or just stick with what I have and don't pick up Anderson.
I would pick up Anderson and drop Curtis Samuel possibly because this schedule of the second half of the year is going to be great for the Jets, and Robbie Anderson may have some more potential. Curtis Samuel is kind of underwhelmed, and he's kind of banged up at the moment. Cristian Kirk, I am not dropping. He had a tough week this week against San Francisco, but going forward, he's almost a lock for double-digit targets on a weekly basis.
David Stewart needs 2 and a 1-point PPR. Landry, Watkins, Walton, or Beasley?
Landry, 2. Watkins, Waller, or Beasley?
Walton.
Oh, Walton.
Walton.
Is it crazy? And tell me if I'm crazy here, Kyle, because, I know it's hard for me to look at you with a straight face and have you be the voice of reason here, but Jarvis Landry is somebody who I think is kind of being underrated this week. I think that a lot of the defensive attention in Chris Harris goes towards Odell Beckham, and Jarvis Landry may be the safety valve for Jarvis Landry. He may not have a huge day, but he may rack up enough receptions to give you that safe floor.
I like your reasoning. There's nothing against your reasoning. I think it's a risky play against that defense because I think it's the Broncos haven't allowed more than 200 passing yards in the last several weeks. So, I mean, at that point, then you're hoping that a majority of the volume goes to Jarvis Landry. So I think it's a little bit of a risky play, but the reasoning behind it makes 100% sense. And that's what you have to do. You just have to trust the process.
Yep, that's right. Hashtag trust the process.
He needs a second, though. So Watkins, Walton, or Beasley?
Watkins, Walton, or Beasley. I'm guessing Sammy Watkins may be the next best option. I mean, I know Matt Moore is not ideal there, but I think, with the amount of targets he saw last week, Sammy Watkins may be the next best option. I don't hate Mark Walton. I think he sees close to 15 touches this week, but I just don't know if he can do enough with them to give you hardly anything.
Melvin wants to know Jaylen Samuels or OBJ in the flex.
I got to go Jaylen Samuels. I mean, we talked about it just a little bit ago. The safety of the volume that he's about to get should be there. Love it.
Scott Fiore wants to know Marvin Jones, Frank Gore, Mike Williams, Curtis Samuel, Hollywood Brown. We need to pick 1.5 PPR.
Okay, well, it's not Samuel and it's not Brown. So who are the other options?
Marvin Jones, Frank Gore, Mike Williams.
I think Marvin Jones may have to be my pick there. I mean, I know he's kind of boom or bust up and down, but it's a matchup against an Oakland Raiders secondary that you can definitely throw on a lot easier than you can run on. He has that high ceiling, so I'm going Marvin Jones.
For safety, do you go with Frank Gore against the Washington Redskins?
I don't know. I mean, how much is he going to get compared to Devin Singletary? Are they going to start giving him more each and every week ever since he's come back from the injury? It's kind of a shot in the dark. Gore's touches have gone down for like 3 weeks straight, and I just don't know if it's safe anymore like it used to be.
Yep. No, I get you there. So Jason Ovell wants to know, we're picking 4 here.
Wow.
And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 names.
So
we're picking.
I'm just going to take away 2 because that's going to be easier.
Okay. Samuels, Godwin, he's playing, right?
Yes.
Evans, he's playing.
Yep.
Cook, he's playing.
Yep.
So then it's Samuels, Carson, John Brown.
And that's Jaylen Samuels?
I believe it just says Samuels. I'm going to assume so. If it's Curtis Samuel, that's definitely a no. But...
Right. If it's Curtis Samuel, no. If it's Jaylen Samuels, I do like that matchup. Like I said, it's a tough matchup for Chris Carson. I know it's really hard to bench Carson because he's going to go out there and get you over 20 carries. But I think the only people that have found success this year against Tampa Bay's run defense have been those pass-catching style running backs, the Alvin Kamaras, the Christian McCaffreys. That's not really Chris Carson's type of game. He's going to be highly touchdown dependent. If he doesn't get it, it could be an issue. You just got the message, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
But I got a tweet saying, Kyle, can we get a parental advisory warning for the chest hair?
I mean... It's awesome.
From our man, My Swollen Taint.
Wow. Awesome. We're never going to go a live show without saying that name.
Oh, man. All right. Mark Hall, good day from Down Under, lads. Love the content. Love you, Mark.
From the land down under?
Do what?
He's from the land down under?
Yeah.
Put another shrimp on the barbie. No?
Okay.
What movie is that from?
I don't care. I thought it was just a saying. Is it from a movie? Is it from Crocodile Dundee or whatever?
All right.
I don't know.
First person to say in the chat what movie that is from gets a in-length shout out to your name. Name that movie from that saying that I just did. Wow.
Oh boy, keep an eye on it. Did Kyle join a cult or is he trying to start one? Oh, man. Wouldn't be surprised at all if Kyle's only wearing a jock strap.
I mean...
I'm not, but that would be awesome. Did you see the answer yet?
No, I have not. Oh, there it is. Wait a second. I got to pause the chat.
Wait, Dumb and Dumber? Like,
yes.
That's what we're going with here?
Yes. Who is
Whatever.
it? Joe Santo. Joe, let me just thank you personally, Joe, for tuning into the live show of the Fantasy Headliners for Week 9. Joe, you are a staple of this community, and we are so glad to have you. Joe Santo is one of the greatest human beings on earth. Thank you, Joe, for bringing a little bit of IQ into the chat.
See, I don't think it was. That's why I thought, I don't think it's originally from Dumb and Dumber. I think it's originally from another movie, and then they just ended up saying it. That's why I was confused. I understand what you're saying, but
opening screenshot there where he came in with the limo and he tried to pick up the girl on the side of the road.
yes, that I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
That makes sense. I thought you were asking like where it originated from. Anyway,
knowing my intellect, Kyle, what other movies do you think that I would be watching? I mean, I'm totally fit the mold of those who watch Dumb and Dumber.
Now I get it. Okay, so I love Dumb and Dumber, but okay. Anyway, we got to get back to Mark's question here. He's got 2 quick questions. He needs 3 wide receivers: OBJ, Crowder, Pascal, Connolly, and we're just going to X off Corey Davis at the end of that question.
That dude is dead to me. He no longer exists.
So OBJ, Crowder, Pascal, or Conley, you got to pick 3 of the 4.
I mean, there's a lot of risk here, no matter how you slice it. There is no T.Y. Hilton this week. He has been ruled out. So Zach Pascal should see some extra target volume. I do like that for him, even though I do think that, Ebron and the tight ends could eat into a few of those targets. So Pascal, OBJ, and Chris Connolly is somewhat intriguing this week. Dede Westbrook banged up. Chark showed up on the injury report midweek. I mean, these guys should be good, but if they're limited at all, we could see more Chris Connolly, who's had back-to-back solid games. So I'm going to go Connolly, OBJ, and what was the other one I said?
Pascal,
Indianapolis. There you go.
And then he also asked, Kyle, you were higher on Jonnu Smith than Jake. Why is that?
I didn't know I was down on Jonnu Smith.
I didn't either.
I'm just now finding out that I'm down on Jonnu Smith. I'm not down on him.
I was going to say, because I don't know. I know you did.
I did the tight end video 2 weeks ago, but at the time of the week where I did that, Delaney Walker had not been ruled out yet. Mm-hmm. So that's why he was included. But I had nothing but good things to say about that matchup for the Tennessee Titans. Ended up being Jonnu Smith, and he did great.
Okay, Mark, appreciate it. Thanks for the question. Cosmos beats Melvin Gordon or David Montgomery?
Melvin Gordon, you said?
Yes.
Yep. I mean, I think a lot of people want to hop off the bandwagon of Melvin Gordon. And let's just say this real quick. And this is another opportunity for you, Kyle, to tell me if I'm not, thinking clearly. But with them firing offensive coordinator Ken Wisenhunt for the Chargers, this now leaves Anthony Lynn, head coach, to call the plays for the offense. The last time he called plays for an offense was back when he was with Buffalo, and both of those years that he was in Buffalo, he was number 1 or 2 in both rushing yards and rushing attempts. Melvin Gordon's stock has to be going up. I like him this week.
Let's roll with it. Shane Vaness wants to know Devin Singletary, Robbie Anderson, Mohamed Sanu, or Mike Williams, and a full point PPR. We need to pick one. Singletary, Anderson, Sanu, Mike Williams. Picking one.
Man, this is tough because none of them are like super safe. I don't.
Does Robbie Anderson have the upside out of the whole group?
That's what I think. I was gonna say Robbie Anderson may be the guy with the matchup going up against the Dolphins that maybe has that higher ceiling. He's not really a full point PPR type of receiver though, and that's where it's a little bit of risk. But I like the matchup, so I would have to say Robbie Anderson.
Huge Cole. Oh, he says, P.S. Keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate it, Shane. Huge Cole says, hey guys, start 2 in a standard. Melvin Gordon, Chris Conley, David Montgomery, Jamaal Williams, Mark Walton, and Carlos Hyde.
Right now, my 2 highest are going to be Jamaal Williams and Melvin Gordon. I know it's kind of hard to start Jamaal Williams as the number 2 in Green Bay over some of those other names, though. Melvin Gordon's going to be a lock for me. And you said Devin Singletary was up there?
Yes.
I think Devin Singletary may be the next safest.
Oh, wait. No, I didn't. That was the other question. David Montgomery?
David Montgomery.
Yes.
David Montgomery can get a lot of people in some trouble this week. I think a lot of people are expecting that now that he broke out, that he's going to continue that weekly. It's just a tough matchup for him. It's not a horrible play, but the floor is going to be a little bit lower this week. David Montgomery, if you want to somewhat play it safe. If you want to shoot for the ceiling a little bit, though, then go for Jamaal Williams and hope they continue to score touchdowns.
Our guy, we know MSTG. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yep, he's been here for years.
Is that supposed to be Master Sergeant?
We
need to ask him. What's it stand for? What's MSTG stand for? Am I supposed to be saying it differently? Let me know so I can get it right from now on.
Missed it.
He says, what's good? What's going on? PPR, need a wide receiver if Davante Adams sits, and 3 potential flex. So we've got Samuels,
yes,
Sutton, Landry, Curtis Samuel, Singletary, Amendola, and Pascal. So 1 wide receiver, 3 flex if Davante Adams sits.
And how many are listed there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, so we're going to pick the 3 that we're not going to play. 1 is going to be Curtis Samuel. Man. Who are the other options? Pascal,
Amendola, Singletary, Curtis Samuel, Landry, Sutton, Samuels.
I'm going to stick and play Landry, Sutton, Samuels, and I'm going to go with Amendola as the last one for the PPR upside.
He says, thanks. Good luck, Kyle. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good luck to you. What about to me? I get no luck? I'm on my own.
Jake, when you show up to the live show looking fly like this guy, then you'll get more compliments. David Garcia wants to know Godwin or Galladay in a PPR league. He already has Evans starting.
Man, this one is tough because, well, if you already have Evans, I guess if you put in Godwin, you know you're guaranteed to have one person go off in your lineup because it's only one of them usually on any given week. And it's so hard to bench either one of those guys because they're literally capable of going out there and putting up 40 points on a weekly basis. But we just don't know which one it's going to be. I have a hard time starting 2 guys from the same position in the same lineup. And Galladay is a great matchup this week. I think it's kind of a win-win for you regardless. Both have high upside. Maybe diversify a little bit, though, and go towards Galladay.
Rolando is sending another question just to clarify what he sent earlier. So it's the same league that he was asking a question about. Mm-hmm. He already, since we answered Jaylen Samuels for the flex, now he needs us to pick Gallup, Rudolph, or Mayfield for the super flex spot.
Gallup, Mayfield, or Rudolph?
Yes.
I think Rudolph may be the best option there. Would you agree with that?
Probably. I mean, probably the safest.
He may be the safest option being that it's a super flex league. I know there's not a whole lot of faith in Baker this week, so Gallup does have a great matchup going up against the Giants on Monday Night Football. I mean, he should have a decent game against them, but being super flex, you try to capitalize on that quarterback point and go with Mason.
Orly wants to know, pick 2, Allen Robinson, DJ Chark, or Mike Evans.
Right now, I have Mike Evans highest. You just can't sit these guys. But I like all those options this week, though. I mean, Allen Robinson, I think, is being highly underrated this week with their matchup going up against Philadelphia. But I just can't sit Mike Evans. Can you sit him?
I can't. If this was me, I would probably put Evans and Chark in my lineup. Highest upsides.
Yep, agreed.
My swollen taint. Fair to say, Kenyon Drink stopped all over my Johnson. Crap.
Yes, he did. He two-stepped on your Johnson is what he did.
Oh, man. Thomas Tripodi says, pick 2, David Montgomery, Jaylen Samuels, Miles Sanders, Devin Singletary. It's a half PPR.
Samuels is a must.
Mm-hmm.
Sanders,
Montgomery, Sanders, or Singletary?
I think
we're going to go Sanders here, right?
I mean, I like Sanders, but how healthy is he? You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
That's a question that I have. I mean, he's one of these guys that's been, banged up during the week coming out, and he's not really involved in the running game at all. He's more of a pass-catching guy, and he's been reliant on the big play. The higher upside, the bigger gamble, I think, is Sanders. If you're looking for the safer floor, it's Singletary.
So Summon Ninja 02 says...
No, it's Sumo Ninja.
I do that every week. Man. I do it every week. Son of a gun. Sumo Ninja. I even said right before I said it, say it correctly, and I didn't.
You still didn't do it.
Sumo Ninja 02 says, Kyle is feeling good ever since he got that special package. And then he's promoting a little bit, says, join Patreon and support. Hashtag Kyle let it flow. Hashtag Filiberto's burrito.
Heck yeah, Filiberto's. Give me an Arizona burrito. That's awesome.
Corvette Foster 40 says, appreciate it. Sumo Ninja. Thank you very much. Corvette Foster 40 in a PPR flex. Connolly, Dorsett, or Demaryius Thomas?
Man, none of them are safe. I'll tell you that. There's not one that really sticks out. Demaryius Thomas is involved on a weekly basis, going to get you between 6 and 8 targets, right around there. Connolly has the high upside because D.D. Westbrook may be limited. I know Chark popped up on the injury report late in the week. None of them are overly safe. If I had to go, I watched the injury reports, and if D.D. Westbrook does sit, I'm going with Connolly. Otherwise, I'm going with the safety of Demaryius Thomas.
Also, he wants to know Jets or Seattle defense.
I don't. I mean, I think I have to kind of go with the Jets. I don't know if I want any part of the Seattle defense going up against Tampa Bay because even though Jameis throws interceptions, they can also put big numbers up on the board quickly, and I don't know if I want to take that chance.
James wants to know Hooper on a bye, Doyle or Goddard. You guys rock. I have, with T.Y. Hilton being out, I did bump Ebron and Doyle in my rankings. However, I still have Goddard a little bit higher just because of how well he's been playing, and he's got back-to-back touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
Perfect.
Mike wants to know in a full PPR, Mark Walton or Adrian Peterson?
I mean, neither one of these guys are overly involved in the passing game. Adrian Peterson still isn't human. Last week he had a high ankle sprain, a low ankle sprain, didn't practice, had a Thursday night game against a tough run defense of the Minnesota Vikings, and still put up over 100 total yards. I think I got to go with Peterson right now.
Leonardo Martinez. Should I trade Kamara or hold on in a PPR?
I mean, would you agree that you kind of have to hold him for right now because you're not going to get as much as you can probably get for him with him being injured?
Yep, I'm not trading him right now. And a full PPR, Amendola, Mac, or Singletary. That comes from Tom Paget.
Is it Paget or Paget?
I said Paget, didn't I?
You said Paget, but I think I knew what you meant.
I think I did. Whatever.
Say it again. I lost my train of thought.
Full PPR, Amendola, Mac, or Singletary.
I mean, PPR-wise, I want to say Amendola, but volume-wise on a weekly basis, I think I got to go with Mac, even though it's a tough matchup going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's somebody that you can say he's going to guarantee you to go out there and get between, 15 and 18 touches.
I concur.
Well, good. That's all that matters to me.
Dominic wants to know, who's my PPR flex? Landry, Miles Sanders, or a sneaky Demaryius Thomas? A sneaky Demaryius Thomas.
Quit whispering when I have in earbuds. It's so weird.
It's not stopping ever.
I know. I mean, I know Demaryius Thomas does seem a little bit sneaky, and I get that because they're going up against the Dolphins, but I just don't know if the ceiling is very high for Demaryius Thomas. So I may have to go with one of the other options, which were who?
Miles Sanders, Jarvis Landry.
I think Jarvis Landry may be the safest option there just because of the amount of targets he may see.
Tony Newman needs to know Melvin Gordon or Mark Ingram.
I got to go with Melvin Gordon this week. Mark Ingram's got the matchup with the Patriots, who have been susceptible to giving up some yardage on the ground over the past couple weeks. But I still think that Melvin Gordon, with the new play caller there and Anthony Lynn, they feed him, because if the Chargers want to have any chance of winning, some games in a row here, they need to establish both Keenan Allen and Melvin Gordon in this offense.
Calvin Morris for a flex if Davante Adams is out. MVS, Jamaal Williams, or Gallup?
Gallup. Easy for me, Gallup right there. MVS has not done anything the past few weeks. He's just not existent in this offense outside of one big play.
Gallup over Jamaal Williams still?
I think so. I mean, I think the matchup just kind of dictates that. I mean, the volume hasn't been there for Jamaal Williams. He's been touchdown dependent. However, he's been getting the touchdowns, so it's made it better. But if the touchdowns aren't there, he's a little bit risky.
GC has several questions here, but it's only 2 players for each question. So we're going to fly through this. Brady or Lamar? Lamar for me.
Yep.
Ingram or Henry? Henry for me.
Yep, agreed.
MVS or Hollywood?
Neither. Other option.
He doesn't have – that's it. You have to answer with those 2 players.
I mean, I guess I have to go with MVS. Hollywood coming his first week back off an injury to face the pass defense of the New England Patriots and Stephon Gilmore. I don't know if I like that too much.
Not just Stephon Gilmore, but they have 3 of the top 7 rated cornerbacks in the game right now.
Both McCourties.
Yep. And then Eckler or McCoy for the flex in a standard?
Eckler's still going to go there for me.
He says, thanks, guys. Keep rocking out with your men's shoes out.
That's right. If he only knew.
Rivers. Eric wants to know Rivers, Cousins, or Darnold in a 4-point TD, 1 point every 25 yards. I have Cousins and Darnold right next to each other. Which one do I have higher? I got to double check that real quick.
You double check that.
Cousins is higher. but literally I have him at 9 and 10.
Well, that's pretty close then. It's kind of a crapshoot.
I would go with Cousins there just because I know there's a lot of people that are weary about trying to play Darnold after he's looked the last couple of weeks, but I'd still go with Cousins.
Yep.
Eric says, love you guys. Love you, Eric.
I got it.
Nova Wolf 01, Cortland Sutton or sorry, Cortland Sutton or Jordan Howard for a flex or look to the waiver.
I want to know why you choked.
I don't know. I just choked.
Wow. Well, Jordan Howard's been getting the volume lately with this run game in Philadelphia, so that is something, that kind of makes him a little bit safer. Cortland Sutton getting a brand new quarterback this week, Brandon Allen. How do they really mesh together? That's something that's kind of yet to be seen. I think the safer play is Jordan. However, I think that Cortland Sutton still remains to get his in Denver.
Luis Garcia in a standard league, but tight ends get full PPR.
Okay.
Juju or Darren Fells? I'm going to go with Juju here.
I still have to.
I mean, I like Darren Fells this week.
But how do you know it's not Jordan Akins' week?
Exactly. Or how do you not know it's neither of them week?
Yeah, how do you not know it's Kiki QT week?
Yeah.
Or Kenny Stills week?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to, I would rather lose putting Juju in my lineup than lose putting Fells in my lineup and leaving Juju on my bench.
Yeah, agreed.
So, Max Skill 001 and a PPR flex, David Montgomery, Jamison Crowder, or Evan Ingram. Ooh, oh man, this is probably Ingram for me.
Yeah, probably. It's got to be Ingram. I think a lot of people wanted to know about Jamison Crowder this week, and just because it's a great matchup, Crowder has only scored double-digit fantasy points 2 out of the 7 weeks that he's played. He's too, hit or miss for me. Yep.
Josh VK wants to know, who do I trust more, Watson or Jackson? I'm playing Watson this week.
Deshaun.
Mike Gear Solid says pick 2 for standard. Deontay Johnson, OBJ, Chark, and Diggs.
Right now, my 2 highest right there are Chark and Diggs. I mean, I know there's a chance that Adam Thielen comes back, but he's still questionable. Diggs has been on fire as of late. A lot of people are going to need to start forgiving him. So I'm going Chark, #Chark Week, and Stephon Diggs.
Rhett Hayes, flex options. Conley, Shepard, or Mixon, full PPR.
Conley, Shepard, or Mixon? Isn't Mixon on a bye? Aren't I? Am I missing something?
Wait, is he on a bye? Yeah, he's one of the buys this week, isn't he?
I'm like, wait a second. Why did I go a whole week and not talk about Joe Mixon?
Those get me every single time someone asks about it, and I just don't even think about it.
I was like, wait a second. I am completely lost. So, no, Joe Mixon's not going to be it. So, who are the other options?
Shepard or Conley?
Shepard or Conley? Give me Conley right now. I mean, even though it sounds like Shepard's going to be back, how limited is he in his first game back now that Golden Tate has kind of established himself a little bit in that offense, and plus Darius Slayton is not non-existent, plus Evan Engram.
And then he says, also, should I trade away Gordon for Landry or keep him for depth? If we're talking about Melvin Gordon,
keep him.
Or are we talking about Josh Gordon?
Get rid of him.
If it's Josh Gordon, yes, trade him. If it's Melvin Gordon, no, keep him.
Exactly.
Fantasy Guru wants to know, should I start the Jets defense tomorrow?
I don't have any issues with it going up against Miami. Even though Miami's been playing better, got to give them a little bit of props. Miami's been, holding their own for at least one quarter. However, if you show any interest in playing for the Dolphins, they pretty much put you on IR the rest of the year. So there's that.
Vic Chand says, hey, Jake and Kyle, what's going on, Vic?
What up, Vic?
In a dilemma, Nelly style, standard, got Dak, Zeke, Samuels, Godwin, Chark, Waller, and Galladay. Keep this or switch Gallup or Singletary with one of them. Nope. I love the lineup as it is.
Yep. Yeah, the way you read it off, I was like, wow, I wish I had that lineup.
Yes. Curtis Jones, pick 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. He says, sorry for a mouthful.
Wow.
Don't say it, Kyle. Don't say it.
Hold it, Kyle. Hold it.
Robbie Anderson, Jaylen Samuels, Adam Thielen, D.D. Westbrook, Davante Adams, Cortland Sutton, Tyler Lockett. 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Jaylen Samuels is going to our flex, correct?
Correct. So now we need 2 wide receivers.
Robbie Anderson, Adam Thielen, D.D. Westbrook, Davante Adams. If Davante Adams plays, he's 1, right?
Yep.
Cortland Sutton and Tyler Lockett. I feel like we're still throwing Tyler Lockett out there, right?
Yeah, you got to going up against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
So what's the one that we go with if Adams does not play?
So then it's either Thielen, Robbie Anderson, Westbrook, or Sutton.
I
feel like you got to go Thielen there.
I think you do, as long as he's active. I think you got to go Thielen in a game against Kansas City.
Yep. Don't forget either, if you're watching right now and have not hit that like button, you better do it soon because we're going to be letting it flow shortly.
I was just looking at that, Kyle.
Uh-oh.
And
I don't like the tone in your voice.
I didn't like the tone of my voice when I said it myself. So looking at the live stream on my phone here, we currently have only 924 people watching, which is like WTF is going on there. However, only 170 likes. I mean, all we're asking for is a quick click of the mouse. Hit that for us because I got my helmet ready. But
we should have at least 600 likes right now. I'm just saying.
At least. And
just saying.
So hit that like button for us. We'll let it flow here pretty soon.
Yep.
At least I will. I don't know if Kyle can let it flow with the glasses and everything.
I got to get back to where my question was at. All right. You ready to run through these a little bit quicker?
Sure.
Kim Edmond wants to know Samuel, Robbie Anderson or Adrian Peterson at the flex in a standard league.
Flex in a standard, give me Robbie Anderson.
Brandon Blevins wants to know Mike Evans and Sony Michel for DeAndre Hopkins. Good trade or not in a full point PPR?
I don't mind it as long as you have running back depth already on your roster.
Nicholas Holmes wants to know in a full PPR, Juju, Singletary, Corey Davis, or Janu at the flex?
Juju, Singletary,
Davis, and Janu Smith.
I got to stick with Juju still.
Adoree Hines just tossing out a $1 dono. Appreciate that, Adoree. Hey guys, I need 1 wide receiver and 1 flex in the full PPR. John Brown, Phillip Lindsey, Carlos Hyde, Robbie Anderson, Philip Dorsett, David Montgomery. 1 wide receiver, 1 flex.
I feel like we got to go with Robbie Anderson as the wide receiver and as the flex, Phillip Lindsey for the Broncos.
He says, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Frank, thank you. Ridwan Hakeem in a PPR, tight end, Janu, Evan Ingram, or Jimmy Graham. Show Jake some love. People are always showing you love. Who isn't showing you love?
I know. I mean, who's out there hating is what I want to know.
It's definitely Evan Ingram, though, for me at the tight end position.
Yep.
Jonathan Nixon, pick 1. Mouthful here. Pick 1. Watkins, Sanu, John Brown, Sutton, Waller, or Ingram.
And we can only pick how many?
1.
Man.
Am I wrong in saying that Ingram has the upside?
Probably not, but I think a little bit safer maybe Sutton if you're looking for a little bit more safety.
Is Waller safer than Sutton, though?
I mean,
if Darius Slay plays, Tyrell Williams is going to get covered by him.
Yeah.
This is going to be a high-scoring game.
It could be. Yeah, I mean, who's his tight end, though, already?
That's a good question. I mean,
why do you have so many tight ends? How many tight ends can one man have?
I guess that's up to the man and what he feels is a suitable lifestyle, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, Waller's a great play also. I mean, there's a lot of options there. Waller's floor is pretty safe, too.
All right, I'm going to save this one for you. It's pick 1, and it's Jaylen Samuels, and then it's Hyde, Montgomery, Michel. Thanks, guys. Nope, it's Samuels.
100% Samuels.
He says, thanks, guys. You are the best. Only peeps I watch. Appreciate it, Jonathan. Byron Spalding in a full PPR, pick 3, 2 wide receivers, and 1 flex. Sutton, OBJ, John Brown, Gallup, Singletary, Jordan Howard. 2 wide receivers and 1 flex.
Okay, so Gallup is going to be 1 wide receiver.
Okay.
Jordan
Brown,
Howard, more
OBJ,
likely.
Sutton, Singletary, Jordan Howard.
I think I gamble here, and even though he's lower ranked for me, I gamble a little bit and go with OBJ.
2 wide receivers and now a flex.
Jordan Howard as a flex because I think he sees the volume.
Okay. Matthew Rosado, start Mark Andrews or Janu Smith in a half PPR. It's Mark Andrews for me.
That dude's got to pick it up second half, though. Hit the like button if Mark Andrews needs to start scoring some more points.
He does, but he's had at least 7 targets in every single game this year. So he's getting the volume.
We'll get the catches, for the love of God, okay?
Justin wants to know Jaylen Samuels, Davante Adams, or Eckler for the last flex position in a PPR league.
It's Adams if he plays.
If not, then Samuels, right?
Samuels, yep.
Also, should I play Marlon Mack despite the matchup?
I don't have any issues with Marlon Mack. I mean, if he's more than likely your number 2 running back anyway, even though the matchup against Pittsburgh is not ideal, the volume is there.
I agree with you. Thanks, guys. He says, thank you, Justin. Leandro Martinez. Oh, I think I messed his name up the first time.
Oh, you probably did.
Leandro Martinez. Should I trade Kamara or hold on to him? I'm in a 3 to 5 PPR league.
Hold the dude.
Yeah.
Hold on dearly, because one of 2 things is going to happen with Kamara. You're either going to hold on to him and he's going to help carry you to a championship second half of the season, or B, you're going to hold on to him, or you're going to trade him for less than what you could normally get for him, and you'll end up getting screwed over in the long run anyway. So just hold on to him.
My bad. Thomas says he's 8-0. Does he trade Marvin Jones for T.Y. Elton? He also has Evans and A-Rob.
I don't think I trade for T.Y. Hilton. I mean, he's going to be out the next 3 to 4 weeks anyway.
Renek wants to know, need 1 running back and 1 flex. Eckler, Samuels, Waller, Gallup.
I mean, do you agree that we need to keep Samuels there, being the volume he's going to get? I mean, Samuels is kind of – I hope he's not my Corey Davis this week, because I feel like I've been saying Jaylen Samuels every time I hear his name. But it just fits this week.
1 running back and 1 flex. So Samuels and who else?
What were the other names?
Eckler, Waller, and Gallup. I feel like I'm going Waller there.
I think I have to also. I mean, I like Gallup if you want to kind of gamble a little bit for the higher upside, but I think this next safest play would be balls to the Waller.
Kalen Collins says, Alvarez versus Kovalev. Who do you got? I don't watch MMA, so I don't know. I'm sorry. I've let you down.
You have. I mean, it's kind of a tough.
Sorry, Kalen.
I mean, I don't know enough to really give a logical answer, but I'm going to have to go with Alvarez.
I feel like you're thinking way too long on a question.
I don't really care what you think, Kyle. You should know that by now. All right, Kyle is on the trading block. I'm done with it. That's it. Start making offers, people.
Your Headliner Nation can make offers to trade for me. Okay. Renato Salazar. Hey guys, first place in my league so far at 6-2, 10-man half PPR. Choose 2. Mac, Walton, Peterson, OBJ.
Mac is going to be one of them. I mean, are we saying that Waller is probably still the next safest bet there, right?
Walton,
oh,
not Waller.
God, so many walls up in here. I can't keep them all straight. All right, it's not Walton.
Gonna make me lose my mind up in here. Sorry.
You can't sing stuff like that while dressed like that, Kyle. It just doesn't fit. All right, well, anyway, Odell Beckham then is who I would go with to take that gamble, that risk, and just hope for a big play.
Deadly Voltage in a 1-point PPR flex. Eckler, Hunter Henry, or Robbie Anderson.
Oh. I mean, I want to say Eckler, but I think Robbie Anderson's ceiling's a little bit higher this week, and I'd probably go with Anderson and cross my fingers.
Melvin Aponte, Cole Beasley, Carlos Hyde, or Kenny Stills at the flex.
There's risk with all of them, right? So let's just shoot for the stars and go with Kenny Stills and hope for a big play.
Justin B., Marvin Jones, or Robbie Anderson. Standard.
Standard league, I'm going to stick with Robbie Anderson.
Jaylen Samuels or Ingram.
Samuels still.
And then he says he already has Tyreek, Chubb, and Jacobs in, and he's struggling with it.
Don't struggle with it. Trust the process.
Trust it. He says appreciate you, Justin. Thank you. Lucas and Dahl wants to know Melvin Gordon or Carson in a PPR.
Right now, I have Melvin Gordon higher. I mean, it's just the matchup for Chris Carson. That's it this week.
And Mac or Carson for the rest of the season.
Outside of this week, I like Chris Carson. I mean, they're committed to Chris Carson and giving him the volume, so I love it.
Adoree Hines, I bet Mark Andrews outscores Greg Olsen. Do I win? I think so.
I think so also.
Hussein Rizek says Devin Singletary a league winner. How about Mark Walton? Thoughts on Royce Freeman?
Okay, so Devin Singletary is a league winner. I could see that at some point because if he gets the bulk of the carries in this backfield, he has that pass catching upside. The kid is electric. He just needs more volume. Mark Walton, like I said, other than an injury replacement, a bye week fill-in, I'm not overly involved or wanting a whole lot of Mark Walton. I mean, nothing against it. I think his ceiling is just a little bit too low. And the last one was who?
Royce Freeman.
I mean, Royce Freeman is kind of just going to be a low-end running back 2 rest of the year. That's just kind of how I see him. He's going to have that safe floor. He's involved in the passing game. He's going to go out there and get 3-4 receptions a game, 30 yards receiving, 50, 60 yards rushing, solid days every single week.
James McIntosh, Juju, and Gurley for Galladay.
Juju and
Gurley for Galladay.
No, I couldn't do that. I mean, I know Kenny Galladay's got that huge upside, but I couldn't give away those 2 for just him.
I Shine 101. Am I crazy for dropping Robert Woods to pick up Robbie Anderson off waivers? Because I refuse to start Scary Terry or drop him. Love the show, fellas. It's a PPR.
I mean, Robert Woods is hard to just drop, but he hasn't really performed up to expectations this year. What are you laughing for, Kyle? Which one are you thinking?
No, nothing. We'll get to it in a second.
Oh, perfect. Okay. If it has nothing to do with this question, I think Robbie Anderson has the better week, obviously, this week. If you need somebody this week, then you have to do that. If you're just looking rest of season, though, I hang on to Woods.
VT wants to know Jamaal Williams or Carlos Hyde this week.
I got Jamaal Williams higher right now. Hyde hasn't really been too efficient.
Our good friend Anna
says
that I'm not Gardner Minshew without the jockstrap. How dedicated am I? She also called me out in the DFS chat for not shaving.
Wow. All right. Then.
I'm sorry, people. I'm not getting rid of the beard right now. Can't do it.
Maybe later.
Anna, thank you so much for your support. We greatly appreciate it, even with all of the backhanded compliments and the making fun of me.
Yes. Making fun of both of us, because I get my fair share at times, too.
She only makes fun of you because she feels so bad for making so much fun of me.
Regardless, I still hear it, too.
Mike Gear Solid says, pick one flex and a standard. OBJ, Singletary, Ingram, or Royce Freeman, and it's Evan Engram. And quite honestly, I like me some Evan Engram this week.
I mean, I don't mind it, but I think there's a little bit of risk there. I don't know if the floor is as high as maybe a Devin Singletary.
Dallas is giving up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends right now.
Yeah, and so was Arizona when he played him.
He left for some of that game, though, correct? He didn't just disappear. Didn't he go? He went out for at least a series or 2, I thought, with a neck injury.
He was playing the Magic Man. Now you see me? Now you don't. So, yeah, I think Singletary still has a safer floor, higher ceiling. That would maybe Ingram.
I Shine 101, Superflex Mahomes, Derek Carr, and Josh Allen. Josh Allen, pick 2. I'm going with Mahomes if he does play. If he plays, I will put him in. And then at that point, I will go with, going with Carr over Allen.
I mean, do you think, if you had to put a percentage on it, what % chance do you think that Mahomes plays?
I think it's about a 10% chance if he plays.
I do too. I don't see him really playing. I mean,
what
they
time
can't
do
risk
they
the
play?
rest of their season. They can't risk the rest of it on this game, even though it's a game that they need to win going up against Minnesota. I think they're a 1 p.m. game, though.
Yeah, they are. So that's the good news. They're a 1 p.m. game, so you're not going to get caught up waiting for a late game or anything like that.
Yep.
Raymond needs to know Conley, Sutton, McLaurin, Tate, or Beasley in standard.
Just one of them?
Yes.
And that's Golden Tate?
Yes.
I mean,
maybe. It could be Auden, but they're on a bye.
so I hope it's not. If it's Auden Tate, make sure he's sitting. Read them to me again, now that you're mid-drink.
Conley, Sutton, McLaurin, Tate, or Beasley. I'm feeling a little Conley this week, just a little bit though.
I like Conley. How about this? If Dede Westbrook is ruled out, I'll go with Conley. If Dede Westbrook plays, I'll go back to Sutton and cross my fingers.
Mark Hall says shrimp on Barbie on Jake's message board behind him, question mark.
Maybe next week. But I can't say Barbie. Is it Barbie? Another shrimp on the, or does he say Bobby? Like he's trying to do an accent. Another
I think it's
shrimp on
Barbie,
the Bobby.
like barbecue.
Well, I know that's what he means to say. I mean, we're not
Crazy.
debating what the, origin of, the words are.
Okay,
Get all teacher on me.
He clarified to his comment earlier about you being lower. I have him as a sit this week on the tight end video. Does Walker being out make him a start? I am under the impression that Walker is out this week. So let's say you have Smith as your only tight end and you're like, oh, do I drop him? I want Smith the rest of the season. So if Smith is your only tight end, you start him this week because you are not dropping him. You need to hold on to him. However, I don't love the upside or the matchup in particular this week. I think Smith himself could be a little bit more limited in this matchup than he was last week. That's why I want to go with someone else over him. He's a little bit lower in my rankings, but it is a really tough week for tight ends this week.
It's a rough week for tight ends every week, Kyle.
I was like, I'm gonna say it. I can't stop myself from laughing.
Yep. You try.
Oh boy. How many likes do we have right now?
Let me check. Let me see. Let me pull up my trusty cellular device and see. We are up to 450.
We need 600. I'm not letting you let it flow without 600 likes. There is 963 people watching this show right now. Hit the freaking like button, people.
Yeah. I mean, who else dresses up as Gardner Minshew's distant cousin while drinking what sounds like rocks out of a tumbler, giving you comments about rough weeks for tight ends? I mean, not too many people on the YouTube do that. We do that. And now he's checking his direct messages on Twitter and fixing the hair. Wow. And all right, well, now only 450 people are watching, Kyle. Great, thank you.
All right, so here, okay, you ready to go?
I've been ready. I stay ready.
All right, I Shine 101, pick one. Samuel, Conley, Mike Williams, PPR.
Samuel, Conley, Mike Williams.
It's Curtis Samuel.
Oh, yeah, I don't want Curtis Samuel. So it's either between Mike Williams or Chris Conley. You want the safer
Conley
play?
if Westbrook out, Williams if he isn't.
Yep, exactly.
Dan, pick two. Samuels, Walton, Brown, or the Lions refs.
That is awesome. That's a great choice.
Good one. That was a good one.
Samuels, you said it was not just Samuel, right? So
yes,
it's Jaylen Samuels
and then Walton or Brown.
Personally, I'm going to go
Brown.
I'm going to go with Brown personally.
Lawrence Jenkins, McCoy or Ty Johnson? That's definitely McCoy for me.
100%.
BJ just says, you guys are awesome. Appreciate you, BJ. And it's Beejay, just in case you were wondering.
I wasn't even questioning it.
Eric Guzman says, Canelo or Kovalev? Again, if this is MMA, I have no idea. I'm sorry. I cannot answer your question for you.
Who was your question? Well, or is it we choosing between the same two again?
I guess so.
I mean, give me Canelo, but I don't know enough to really give you a legit answer. Don't bet money on what I say.
Yeah. James McIntosh, 1 point PPR. Gurley and Juju for Melvin Gordon and DJ Chark. Gurley, Juju, Gordon, Chark. Which side you taking in a PPR?
Right now I still got to go with Gurley and Juju.
Ashley Rodriguez wants to know 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Derrick Henry, MG3, Chark, Gordon, or Allen Robinson. Sorry. 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. So you got to pick probably Chark over Robinson, 100%, right?
I wouldn't say 100%.
Okay.
But yes. I mean, I like Allen Robinson a lot this week. I think I have Allen Robinson ranked as wide receiver 10 this week, which is a little high. I think I have Chark at 12 or 13. So technically I have Robinson higher. I don't mind Chark, though, especially if Dede sits. But then for the other spot, I mean, Melvin Gordon as a flex seems like my option.
Okay. Jacob Petrova wants to know standard pick 3. Carson, Eckler, Tate, AP, Singletary.
Carson. I mean, this is the point where we still go with Chris Carson now based on the other options. So I'd have to stick with Chris Carson. And
then Eckler, Tate, AP, or Singletary.
And we can only pick one more?
2 more.
Eckler and Tate. And then I sit Singletary this week.
Alejandro wants to know Jaylen Samuels or Tyrell Williams in a standard.
Jaylen Samuels that's 100% Jaylen Samuels.
I Shine 101, not sure. I need some help. Keenan Allen or Tyrell Williams going against Darius Slay, but Allen going against the Packers defense makes me a little nervous. So we got to pick one, Allen or Williams.
I think I stick with Allen this week and just hope for the best. The targets are still there, and that's what's important.
Randall Baxter, Mark Andrews versus New England, or TJ Hawkinson versus Oakland. I do have Andrews a little bit higher, but I do think TJ Hawkinson has a much higher ceiling this week.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Blake Hede wants to know Jaylen Samuels or Juju at the flex.
The safest play is going to still be Jaylen Samuels.
Flex Melvin or Carson in a PPR.
I'm going with Melvin. Better matchup.
And then Mac or Carson the rest of the season.
Mac or Carson. I still think Chris Carson rest of season has the higher upside.
I Shine 101. Running back 2 in a PPR need one. Miles Sanders, AP.
Did you say it was a PPR?
Yes.
Then I have to go with Miles Sanders.
Elmis Cabrera wants to know in the flex, Keenan Allen, Jaylen Samuels, John Brown, or Metcalf. This is between Allen and Samuels, right?
Yeah, and I think the safer play is Samuels. Allen being up and down here recently, I think you stick with Samuels in that volume.
Rocky Road Warriors says pick 3 in a standard. Metcalf, Amendola, Golden Tate, Gallup, or Pascal. Pascal, one of them?
I don't know, man. I like DK again this week, so DK's got to be one.
Okay. Amendola, are we tossing him out since it's standard?
Right, exactly.
Then Tate, Gallup, or Pascal. You got to pick 2.
Gallup would be number 2 for me. So we'll have, being that it's standard, I'll go with Pascal and hope for the big play for the third one.
Boosted Trucks, standard, Montgomery, Samuels, Marvin Jones, or flex, or at the flex.
Who is it again?
Montgomery, Samuels, or Marvin Jones at the flex in a standard. Samuels, right?
Yep, it's got to be Samuels again.
Love you too, Boosted Trucks.
Even though I keep saying Samuels, I refuse to whisper his name this week.
VT, thoughts on DJ Moore and Chris Herndon the rest of the season? Chris Herndon, I'm basically out on right now. I have no idea when he's going to play.
Yeah, and for DJ Moore, the targets are still there, which are nice, but I think what to start the season was like a high-end wide receiver 2 range has kind of dropped down into like a flex option at best from week to week.
Bubba G wants to know our thoughts on Josh Gordon and the Seahawks.
Football-wise, I love it. NFL-wise, fantasy-wise, I don't love it as much. I don't think that it hurts Lockett or Metcalf as much as a lot of people think. But it's just another one of those big, wide receivers that they can put on the outside, leave Lockett in the slot, and he's going to absolutely annihilate defenses.
Michael Arroyo says flex in a standard, Eckler or Anderson.
In a standard, I guess we got to go with Robbie Anderson there.
Zib W, I know it sounds crazy, but does he go with the Patriots or the Bills this week?
Their defense?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it an option to bench the Patriots defense? I don't think you can. Even though it's an offense against Baltimore that they're going up against that has weapons, I just don't see how you can sit that defense right now. I mean, they're just taking, they're getting the ball too many times on takeaways and they're scoring touchdowns. I couldn't sit them.
Victor Abreu wants to know Brait or Doyle. Brait for me, and then Brady or Cousins for me.
You got to say the name right though. It's not just Doyle.
Jack Mother and Doyle. Jacob or Troba wants to know in a standard we're picking 3: Carson, Eckler, Tate, AP, and Singletary.
Carson, Tate, and AP were the first 3 that you read, right?
Carson, I think we're picking him as number 1. And then Eckler, Tate, AP, Singletary.
Eckler and Tate would be my next 2 choices.
Mikey Gear Solid wants to know pick 1 tight end, Mark Andrews or Evan Engram in a standard league. It's Evan Engram for me.
Yep.
Kyle George says, come on, hit that like button. Let them flow.
Let us flow.
Like button, people. We have 922 people watching. I said we need 600 likes. Eric Guzman, Terry or Preston Will. Okay, Terry or Preston Wilson or pick up Dorsett or Stills.
I mean, I like Preston Williams for Miami a lot. I'm kind of off Scary Terry this week because Case Keenum's not playing quarterback. And even though he gets his college quarterback of Dwayne Haskins under center, they just haven't really been on the same page here, and Haskins looks not ready as of yet. So I'm not really on the Terry McLaurin bandwagon. It may be something here where I look towards the waiver wire and go towards like a Kenny Stills.
Mr. Blair 56 tossing out a dono. Appreciate your support, man. David in a full point PPR. Mason Crosby or Joe Sly. I don't know why PPR matters there. There's another fly in here.
Okay. Well, yeah, PPR doesn't matter for a kicker. And it was
Crosby or Sly.
I mean, there's no weather concerns right now, so Crosby is in play there, even though he's probably going to be cold. So I think we go. Give me Sly. Maybe Tennessee can kind of limit that offense a little bit and force more field goals.
Steven Drakes wants to know Tyrell Williams or John Brown in a full PPR.
Give me John Brown by a hair.
Jordan Cabo wants to know DK or Amendola. PPR, I'm going with Amendola.
Yes.
Anything less, DK?
Yep, exactly.
Frank Cardenas wants to know drop Dorsett for Hawkinson, Brait, Ebron, or Janu Smith to start this week. Give me Hawkinson this week. And then he also has Herndon. Should I drop Herndon for the tight ends mentioned? Yeah, I would rather hold Dorsett a little bit longer and then drop Herndon and pick up Janu Smith if you're looking long term. So if you're thinking I need a guy for longer than just this week, then it's Janu Smith. If not, if you're just talking this week, then it's Hawkinson.
That was a lot there. You were whispering all kinds of tight ends right there.
Whispering it all. I Shine 101. Next week, I'm going to need a tight end because Ertz will be on a bye. Should I drop Chris Herndon and pick up Janu Smith? Nothing. Knowing Herndon won't have a career year and he's one game back. Yes, do it. Grab
100%.
Smith right now.
Yep.
MPLS Outdoor says, I've got CMC, Derrick Henry, Carson, and Eckler. Who sits?
Who was the very
Eckler
first?
sits for me in a half PPR.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say that because I think Eckler has a solid game, but out of the choices, yeah.
Josh Lee Beast in a full PPR flex, Robbie Anderson, Devin Singletary, or Mike Williams.
I still go with Robbie Anderson there, even though it's PPR.
Ryan Shea just throwing out a dono. Appreciate your support, Ryan. Thank you. Nate Arkin wants to know, I have Minshew, CMC, Cook, Hill, Cooper, Henry, Edelman, Bell starting, and Mahomes, Singletary, Sanders, Amendola, Andrew sitting. Do I make any changes? Thanks for being awesome, Nate. Thank you. I like the lineup as is.
Yep, I don't make any of those changes either.
Yep. RC Productions. What's up, fellas? Great call on Janu Smith last week. Appreciate it. Do I run with him this week or Witten? I still have Smith higher than Witten this week. Even though, and this might be weird, even though I had Witten listed as a start and Smith as a sit, if you have both of them on the same team, I do have Smith a little bit higher because I think his volume production is a better chance than Witten. Witten for me this week is a touchdown dependent play. I think he gets in the end zone, but Smith is the guy that will probably see more volume. So that's just to explain that a little bit. And then also pick 2, McLaurin, Thielen, Moore, or Slayton in a PPR.
I'm going to have to go with Thielen and DJ Moore there.
Larry Spencer in a PPR league, pick 2. Andrews, Amendola, Conley, Alshon, or McLaurin. Amendola's
got to be one, and then I have Alshon next going up against the Bears. He produced against them in the playoffs last year, and hopefully they can do it again this week.
Do we start Conley instead if Westbrook is out?
That's a possibility, yes, if Dede does sit.
And then there's one from Steven Drakes I can't see. I need you to read that one real quick. I don't know why it's doing that to me all of a sudden.
I don't know why it does either.
Do we have 600 likes yet?
Yeah, that's why I got the helmet on.
Nice.
Let's see here. Hold, please. Answer a few going through there while I get to it, Kyle.
DJ Chark or Marlon Mack, I'll go with Marlon Mack this week. Keenan Allen or John Brown, I'll go with Keenan Allen. Chris Conley or Kenny Stills. Kenny Stills if Westbrook plays. If not, then it's Conley. Crowder, Amendola, Jeffrey. Need one for the flex. I'm going with Amendola if it's PPR. Jeffrey if it's standard. Davante Adams, Godwin are my top 2 options, but in my flex, do I go Mark Walton, Robbie Anderson, or Mike Williams scoring? It's a full point PPR. Thanks in advance, fellas. I'm going with Robbie Anderson there. Dylan Nab wants to know Josh Jacobs, Chris Carson, DJ Chark, John Brown, Samuels. Pick 2 in a PPR. I'm going to go with Jacobs, and I am going to go with Samuels.
All right.
Samuels or Carson?
I'm going Samuels.
Samuels. Okay. Phillip Rivers or Derek Carr, please help. Definitely Derek Carr for me. OBJ or Sanu in a full PPR. I'm going with OBJ. And then do you have it now?
Yep. Stephen Drake's question was the Browns defense or the Cowboys defense. I think I'm going to have to go with the Browns defense going up against Denver and that new quarterback, Brandon Allen.
Oh, boy. We got a bunch since then.
Yeah.
So, wait. No. It was Stephen Drake's, right?
Yep.
Stephen Bowman tossing out a dono. Thanks for your support, Stephen. Stephen Laird, Walton, Miles Sanders, or Montgomery?
I got to go with Miles Sanders, I think.
Okay. You ready to let this thing flow?
I mean, I don't like you asking me that looking like that. It's just awkward. Now it's getting more awkward. All right. Let me get ready.
A lot of people asking about Jay Ajayi being worth a spot on the bench. Not for me as of right now because he's worked out a couple of times, but he hasn't done anything yet.
It says something that he's worked out for a few teams and that nobody has signed him.
Yep.
That says something.
Yep.
All right. I mean, heck, look at the Cardinals. Didn't they work out Jay Ajayi, and they would rather trade away a pick to get Kenyon Drake than sign Jay Ajayi for cheap?
Yep.
That tells you something. All right, Kyle. No timer. I'm just going to go until I can't go any longer.
Let's go. Are you ready? Headliner Nation, are you ready?
Hit the like button because this is about to be epic.
3, 2, 1. Let it flow.
All right, we got Samuels or McCoy. For me, Ethan, it's pretty easy. I'm going with Samuels. John Brown or Zach Pascal. You're looking for the big day, you're going John Brown. If you're trying to play it a little bit safer, you go with Zach Pascal. Deontay Johnson or Pascal. Deontay Johnson, now the wide receiver 2 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's going to be my choice. Montgomery or Singletary? Give me Singletary. OBJ or Mike Williams? Right now, I have Mike Williams a couple slots higher, but if you want to like to gamble and swing for the fences, you're going OBJ. Samuels or McCoy? Once again, still going with Samuels like I did 30 seconds ago. Should I go with Mark Andrews or Dallas tight end? Well, the fact that you don't even know who the Dallas tight end is enough to type his name, we're going with Mark Andrews. Mahomes or Wentz? Still going to be Wentz because I don't think Mahomes plays. Walton or Sanders in a half PPR? Give me Sanders. David Montgomery or Sony Michel? I got Sony Michel higher still. Deontay Johnson, Mohamed Sanu, Jarvis Landry, standard league pick 2. Being that it's standards, it makes it a little bit more difficult. I'm going Deontay Johnson and Mohamed Sanu. Lamar Jackson or Gardner Minshew? I can't really go against Gardner Minshew with Kyle looking like that. However, I'm still going to go with Lamar. This guy has a question. PPR, whom to start or sit in wide receiver, but he did not list any names, so I have no idea how to help you. Mack or Samuels in a half PPR? Give me Samuels. White or Ingram in a full point PPR? Going with James White. Golden Tate, Marvin Jones? Give me Marvin Jones slightly higher, but it really depends on the type of league this is. Standard, Jones. PPR, Golden Tate. Stills or Jamaal Williams? I think Jamaal Williams still slightly safer at this point. DK Metcalf or Tyrell Williams as a flex play. Give me DK. Greg Olsen, Brait, or Ebron standard league. Right now, I'm going to have to go with Ebron in hopes that he gets more targets with T.Y. Hilton being out. White or Ingram in a PPR? Going to go with White if it's a full point PPR. Jonnu Smith or Fells? Man, that's tough. I think Jonnu Smith gets the volume, so I'm going to go with him, being that it's a full point PPR. Somebody wants to just shout out Colts Nation game time. Hey, Colts Nation in the chat. We got Chark or Allen Robinson. Right now, I have Allen Robinson just a couple spots higher. Lamar or Stafford? Like them both, but actually, I think Stafford is the safer play this week. We have Tom Brady or Josh Allen. This one's really tough. Honestly, I'm probably going to go with Josh Allen and just hope for the rushing upside. We have Lamar or Stafford. I'm going to go with Stafford there once again. We have mustard or ketchup. I'm more of a ketchup guy, but for some reason, I like mustard with corn dogs. White or Mac in a PPR? Still like White. We have Dak or Minshew. I got to go with Dak. Dak's been playing great. Chicago's Finest wants to shout out that the Bears suck. The only reason I read that is because he said he was from Chicago. Duke Johnson or Tariq Cohen in a standard league. Shane, find better options. However, for right now, I'm rolling the dice and going with Duke Johnson. Beasley, Crowder, McCoy, pick 2, full point PPR. Give me Beasley and Crowder and hope that they can get those massive reception numbers because the yardage may not be there. Samuels or Henry? Man, it's tough. I think Henry has the safer floor. You want the higher upside, you go with Samuels. Jaylen Samuels or Golden Tate full PPR, still going with Samuels there. Should I start Deshaun Jackson if he plays? I wouldn't. I'd give it at least 1 week. Brady or Darnold? Sam Darnold going up against the Dolphins. I can't believe I'm picking Sam Darnold over Tom Brady. The world is ending, people. We have John Brown or Allen in a standard league. Still going to go with Allen. Tate or Amendola. If it's PPR, I'm going Amendola. Slow down, chat. Jonnu Smith or Eric Ebron. I'm going with Ebron. Jaylen Samuels, Golden Tate in the flex. In the full PPR, still going to go with the running back option there. Jaylen Samuels. Trade Sutton for John Brown? No, I wouldn't yet. Let's see what he does with Brandon Allen. Stills, Conley, Demarius, full PPR. Pick 2. Conley's going to be 1, and Demarius is the safer play. You want to shoot for the fences. That's when you gamble and you go Stills. It depends how much risk you have in your lineup. Minshew or Winston in a standard league. Doesn't matter if it's standard or PPR. Look at Kyle. He's pointing towards himself, and he's harnessing his inner Minshew, saying he's going with Minshew. Let's see here. Demarius Thomas, and I lost it. It was going too fast. Walton or Singletary. I'm still going with Singletary there. John Brown, OBJ, Sutton, pick 2, half point PPR. Sutton is going to be one of them. If you want to play it safe, you go John Brown. You want to just gamble and say F it, you go OBJ. Walton or Ty Johnson. Give me Walton. That's the one time I may choose Walton. Dak or Stafford. I love both of them. Give me Dak, though. He's the safer option of the two. Lamar or Russ. 100% give me Russ. Full PPR. Samuels or Walton. That shouldn't be a choice. It's going to be a 100% Samuels. Stephon Diggs or John Brown. Give me Diggs. Sutton or DK in a half PPR. Give me DK in that matchup. Wow, I'm glad I said that the right way. Had I mispronounced that, it would have sounded really weird had I said that differently. You didn't catch it. Trust me. You'll watch it back and you'll see it.
I saw it.
I just said to give me DK. Okay, anyway, going back. Let's see here. Brissett or Evans? I mean, I don't know if it's a super flex league. I'm going to go with Evans, though, if that's Mike Evans. Let's see. Somebody's throwing out lightning bolts and peace signs. Awesome. John Brown or Adam Thielen? Right now, I think Adam Thielen, as long as he's good to go, sees the safer floor. Tate or Connolly in a full PPR? Give me Tate. We have Diggs, Robinson, Evans, or Adams in a PPR, and I can pick 3. That's basically all of them. If Adams plays, he's in my lineup with Evans and Diggs. If Adams sits, you already have your names. We have, does Mahomes play? More than likely, probably not. There's really no reason for him to play. The offense wasn't horrible with Matt Moore. Watkins or John Brown? Right now I have John Brown higher. Gallup or Samuels? Going with Samuels. Goddard or Andrews in a PPR? I'm going to go with Mark Andrews and cross my fingers and pray to the fantasy gods. Sony Michel, Carson, Melvin in a full point PPR. And I'm trying to ignore Kyle while he's laughing because I desperately want to know what he's looking at. I'm going to pick 2. And if I can pick 2, I'm going with Melvin Gordon and Chris Carson. And crossing my fingers, and I'm done. Whew. Why are you laughing?
True Legend said. True Legend says, I want to sniff Kyle's feet.
Why?
Oh my gosh. Whew.
Why would you want to do that?
That's a great question.
I don't know if I want to hear the answer to that, though.
It's a great question. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
How you feeling over there?
Freaking amazing. And thirsty. Have you lost your concentration, Kyle?
I have. That caught me completely off guard.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of people asking about Davante Adams and whether he plays tomorrow or not. I think he does.
I saw the clip on social media of him hurdling a coach.
Oh my God.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Did you just get an answer?
Luke said he wants to sniff Jake's chair. Things are getting weird here, people. Headliner
What time
Nation.
is it? It is daylight savings night, isn't it? Yes, it is. Weird things happen on these nights.
It is. Fantasy Guru says, dude, my first time watching. Do you always wear the helmet?
Not always. Only on live shows.
Only on live shows. Let It Flow is the staple of the fantasy headliners.
Nobody else has that much fun doing a fantasy show. Nobody.
He said, looking good. He said, but Kyle, you are cracking me up, bro.
I had somebody leave a comment the other day, Kyle, on one of our videos, and says that the stupidest thing he has ever seen is the Let It Flow section of our live show. I told him, I'm like, cool. What? You're the one person out of millions of viewers to ever say it.
No kidding.
This is me ignoring your comment. And then that was about it.
How many viewers have we had in 2019?
I don't know, a couple million.
John Smythe is asking whether you'd have Rosie or Donald or Kyle.
100% going Kyle.
I was worried you were going to say O'Donnell.
That was awesome.
Dog Pound says, how does Kyle handle tight ends? First off.
Okay, wait a second. Hang on.
The best way to handle a tight end, okay, is gingerly. All right. You have to give each tight end, okay, specific attention. All right. You have to know it. You have to love it. You have to understand it. When you have done all of those things, then like myself, you can become a tight end whisperer. We're good, Jake. You can come back.
Unfortunately, I was there for that.
You heard all of it. Okay.
I heard it. Yeah, that was weird.
There you go.
That was weird.
Okay. This is only the second time in my life this has happened. Tavion Thompson says I look like Klay Thompson. The last person to tell me that told me I look like Klay Thompson if he only ate gas station food.
Wow.
Oh, man. Dirt Bike Addict said just joined and Kyle looks like a stud.
Yeah. Wow. This is amazing. This is high quality content right here. Here's the thing.
So I am the coach of the official Fantasy Headliners flag football team.
Wow. I didn't know we had an official one, but yes.
The official. Okay, can't be duplicated. So I have to play quarterback tomorrow because our typical starting quarterback is gone this week.
So have you already chalked this week up as a loss?
So should I go into the game wearing this? Should I show up there, have this ensemble on?
I think you should. I mean, it can't make you any worse. Remember, we already have a competition of who can throw a football farther.
And it's me.
And now that you look like Klay Thompson, we should do a 3-point shooting contest.
Oh, God, you'd win that. I can't shoot a basketball to save my life. I'm just reading through some of these comments.
Yeah. Is Jay Ajayi worth an ad? No, he's not on the roster right now.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Are you guys stepbrothers? Heck no. We are not related. We are internet brothers. But I mean, Kyle's kind of like my brother. Like my distant younger brother that I never asked for.
Younger being the key word there.
Yeah, well, it happens.
We got a few. No, I'm not getting traded, people. Nice try.
No.
Cole said you look like Channing Tatum.
I do? Sweet. Thanks, Cole.
Legend Jumpman says, why does Kyle look like he's about ready to run to a game of tennis?
Exactly.
I have a tennis racket.
No, you don't. Don't go get it. They're going to see your jock strap if you... Oh, I saw it. Somebody had a question out there saying Jake can shoot with a question mark. David, yes, I can. I'm downright lethal. Let's see here. Jake, what am I drinking? This right here, Kim, is my Saturday night special. It involves ice cubes and water. Because if this was anything else in this cup, this show would be pretty interesting. But maybe not family friendly.
Already is interesting.
So you're just going to hold the racket now?
Of course.
Awesome. All right, we got any more real questions? Because we're about to go off the hinges here and go into headliners after dark. The
next GQ.
Hang on. Do that again.
No, why?
I got to take a picture of it. Do it again. I'm going to post it on Twitter right now. Put it up. Lean back.
No.
Lean back. Now lean back.
Lean back.
Come on, Kyle. I'm going to take a picture of it. I'm going to post it. The people on Twitter want to see this right now. Do it. Do it.
Okay, I can't remember how I did it.
Doesn't matter. You got to put your... Nope. Yep. Here we go. Get it. Ready? Here we go. And picture taken. All right. That's going on Twitter right now.
Yes. Oh, boy.
Read a couple questions, Kyle, while I post this.
Kim said you guys are cute.
Duh.
Appreciate it, Kim. Thank you. Jay wants to know Ebron or Olsen. Please respond. I'm going with Ebron, Jay.
Yes.
Steven wants to know who dresses me. I dress myself. True Legend now wants to see my feet.
Wow.
There is a price on that. Okay. You PayPal me. I'll send you pictures.
Wow.
Jason said I look like I belong in a Mentos commercial.
You kind of do.
Oh, man. Jay, I got your Ebron question there.
Yeah. Wow. This is going a little bit crazy.
People want me to stop. I am not stopping.
No. Keep it going. Keep it going. Let's see.
All right, hold on. We got to get some questions here real quick.
Right,
Back to football. Although Painting Paul says Jake and Kyle are the Jordan and Pippen of fantasy football. Dumb and Dumber, greatest comedy of all time.
Love it.
Jake, I'll let you be Michael Jordan. That's okay.
Hey, thanks, Kyle. Why, because I'm better at basketball?
No, because you are Mr. Fantasy Headliner. I'm okay taking a backseat over here.
I mean, with this picture that's about to go on Twitter, I don't think so.
Oh man, here I've got an issue here because I can't remember where we were at. No, okay, I found it. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, got quite a few here. Yep. Ryan Shea wants to know: should I trade Josh Jacobs to get Bell?
I really want to say yes to this, but there's more risk to this than I kind of thought. Bell has kind of complained about his touches as of late, so there's a chance that he sees more. Plus, he's got a great schedule. Just know going in, it's a risk.
Eric Guzman says trade DJ for Bell. Yes. David Johnson.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Kyle George says, yo, Headliner fam, what should I go for in a flex full PPR? Kenny Stills, Sammy Watkins, or Royce Freeman?
Kenny Stills, Royce Freeman. Who was the other one?
Kenny Stills, Sammy Watkins, Royce Freeman.
I think Royce Freeman is probably the safer of all of those options.
Raul Negron says, full PPR, Amendola or Tyrell Williams?
In a full PPR?
Mm-hmm.
Give me Amendola.
Jacob Petroba wants to know, need a QB for Week 10. These are who is available with Week 10 matchups. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't love answering these questions the week beforehand because I like to dive really deep into what's going on.
Yeah.
Garoppolo versus Seattle, Rivers versus Oakland, Darnold versus the New York Giants, Tannehill versus KC. Rivers, Darnold, and Tannehill are all decent options. Tannehill's the one that I'm kind of leaning towards right now, number one, because I like him rest of season, but we also like Darnold the rest of the season. However, I want to see how Darnold does this week before I grab him against the Giants next week as well. So for me, it's between Darnold and Tannehill if you're looking for somebody to keep on the roster a little bit longer. But Jacob, you're just going to have to watch out for the videos next week before I can fully answer that for you.
Yeah, at least answer it correctly. Right now, it's a lot of speculations because we don't dive that deep weeks ahead of time.
Jacob Raymond, Landry, John Brown, Juju, or Sanu. Pick two in standard.
Say him again.
Landry, Brown, Juju, or Sanu.
Juju's going to be one of them. And you said it's a standard league, right?
Yes. I have a fly. Son of a...
Well, it's probably attracted to your outfit. Man, I want to say Sanu, but is that a little bit crazy since we haven't seen him too much lately in that offense?
Sanu and who?
Juju.
I personally probably go with Brown over Sanu this week.
Yeah, I mean, I have Brown ranked higher. I'm just trying to think of somebody who has that higher upside that's a little bit not so much boom or bust, but yeah, I mean, John Brown may be next in line.
Bada bing, bada boom. Tosses out a dono and says 4 weeks in a row you've answered my questions. Y'all are great. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Aubrey Sorensen, if Davante Adams and Thielen sit, pick 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. Gallup, Brown, Tate, Jarvis, Eckler, Melvin Gordon. John Brown is a wide receiver. Melvin Gordon at flex. Then Gallup, Tate, Jarvis.
Gallup is my next highest ranked wide receiver right there. He's got a little bit of risk to him, but you have some solid options at the other positions already.
Mike says, good God, Sony Michel or Mike Williams, flex play full PPR.
Well, the full PPR doesn't help Michel, so you're kind of banking on a touchdown there against the Baltimore Ravens. He's been highly inefficient. Mike Williams may be slightly safer.
Jonathan Nixon says, Jake, how about this for your sign? Like Mountain Dew, their phrase is do the do. How about do the Minshew? Again, you guys are great. Love the live shows. Thanks, Jonathan.
Do the Minshew.
David Canizal says, new to fantasy. Someone sent me Davante Adams, Cooper Kupp, and David Johnson for Ezekiel Elliott. Should I take it? Whoa.
I mean, I have no interest in David Johnson, but Cooper Kupp, and who was the other one?
Davante Adams.
I mean, the only way I'd like to have both those wide receivers, but does that severely,
that's the thing,
handcuff your team at the running back position?
David, it really depends on who you have at the running back position. If Elliott is like what you have at running back, and that's basically it, you can't trust David Johnson. So unfortunately, even though value is on the side of Adams, Kupp, and Johnson, you have to turn it down. It's completely team dependent right now. If you had... My phone just went off. I don't know if I want to see it.
I'll check it. If I start... Oh, you already checked it. It's not fair.
You mentioned me. So.
Oh, yeah. I tagged you in the photo on Twitter.
So, again, that's going to be really team dependent, David. My gut says yes, because there is more values on Adam's side. But if it leaves you severely short at running back, then you can't.
Agreed.
Juan Carlos Lopez starts 1 tight end. Ingram or Andrews? It's Ingram for me.
Yep.
Sit 1. John Brown, Sutton, Tyrell Williams, or Chark?
I hate to say it, but I'm probably going to have to sit Tyrell Williams. It's okay, Kyle. It's just me tagging you in things. Putting you on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever else I can find somebody who wants to see your picture.
I'm retweeting it.
Okay, perfect. Hey, just a quick reminder for all of you who are still with us here. We got, what do we got, like 800 people watching. We do a lot of fun things on Twitter. I joke around a lot on Twitter. I'm not overly serious. I try to go out there and have some fun with it. So if you're on Twitter, make sure you follow both me and Kyle. Kyle has a little bit more good stuff. I'm more fun-loving. But it's a lot of fun. Come check us out on Twitter. We're more active on Twitter than any other social media account, so make sure you head over there and follow both of us. Kyle is very Twitter famous. I'm not so Twitter famous, but I'd like to get Twitter famous, so if you could help me out, that'd be awesome.
You're YouTube famous, though. That means more.
I don't know if I'm famous.
At one point in time, Jake, I remember last year when we had the bet, who's going to get to 10,000 followers first, you on YouTube or me on Twitter, and I was like 800 away, and you were a couple thousand away. And you were like at 30,000 before I got to 10,000.
It happens, Kyle. Things happen.
Oh, man. Ryan Shea wants to know, are we trading Josh Jacobs for Le'Veon Bell?
That's when I think we kind of had a question similar to that not that long ago. And it's a risk because I think Josh Jacobs is safer right now. But this second half schedule, I'm gambling. It is a gamble because Bell has been a disappointment. But the schedule gets easier, and I'm gambling on Bell and rolling with him.
Michael Alvarado says Hyde or Samuels. That's Samuels for me.
100%.
Jeffrey Richardson, do you like Emmanuel Sanders the rest of the season? Boy, they are looking good since that Sanders trade.
I love Emmanuel Sanders rest of season.
Scam Newton, should I drop? Oh, crap. Where'd it go? Should I drop Herndon for Janu Smith? Great work, guys. Yes, I would.
100%.
Josh V says, I'm currently streaming Winston, but can add Cousins instead. Who is the better stream for the next few weeks? I also own Wentz. Cousins is safer than Winston.
Yes, agreed. But the higher ceiling may be with Winston on a weekly basis.
Yes. And half PPR, Janu Smith or Goddard for tight end. Wait.
Finish your question. Finish your question. I'll read it to you.
Was it on Twitter?
Yes, it was.
Was it a comment?
Well, kind of.
Oh, okay. Or a DM.
Yeah, it is.
Going up against an undefeated team in the league, he's stacked with Cook, Jones, Kittle, and Elliott in the flex. Give me Goddard for upside this week. Give me Smith. Give me Smith. Smith doesn't have to compete with another tight end. Goddard will have to compete with Ertz still. Give me Smith.
You were just compared to Andre Agassi after 20 years of White Castles. Need upside in there. Killing it. Love it. Because you know why? You love White Castles.
I do like White Castle.
I mean, and the headband and racket screams Andre Agassi.
The first time I meet him in person, I'm pushing him down a set of stairs. Josh V, drop Larry Fitz for N'Keal Harry.
I mean, Fitz hasn't really done a whole lot, so I don't hate it. But don't expect anything out of N'Keal Harry maybe for a few weeks. So as long as you're solid at wide receiver and you want to just take a flyer on him, then I don't hate that.
Sebastian Battle, 12-man, traded Sutton and Henry and Allen Robinson for Cook. Yes. Love it.
Anything you can do to get Dalvin Cook for the most part.
Yes. Shipbound with this team, full PPR. Ryan, Cook, Jones, Julio, Adams, Waller, then Mac, Green, John Brown on the bench. Stack team. Absolutely love it. Now, if Matt Ryan's your quarterback, you're probably going to need someone else to get you through right now.
Yeah.
Dan says, love the content. Kyle, sorry I brought up the refs again, or the Lions refs again. So just a thanks for the help this year. Appreciate it, Dan. No worries. EGO Capone says, standard David Montgomery or Royce Freeman?
Right now, this week, Royce Freeman. He's safer.
Jeffrey Richardson, I think this is a duplicate because he says, how do you feel about Emmanuel Sanders the rest of the year? I think he's also the same person that asked it earlier.
Yeah, love him. Still love him.
Mm-hmm. Tan Fam says, in the flex, Royce Freeman or Amendola? Thanks, Uncle Rico.
Royce Freeman or Danny Amendola, does it say PPR or not?
It does not.
If it's PPR, I'm going Amendola. If it's not, then I'm going the other way.
Mark Hall, would you trade Jordan Howard, Derrick Henry, and Brandon Cooks for Julio Jones and Joe Mixon?
Maybe. Joe Mixon is another one of those wild cards. If that trade works out for you, you probably win the season. You probably win the second half of the year. If Joe Mixon bombs and you take that gamble, your season's almost over. So know that going in. I love the potential, but there's a lot of risk there.
Big Dog says, start one, Henry or Mac in a standard league.
I got Henry higher still.
BP says, flex and a half-point PPR. Demaryius Thomas, Preston Williams, James White, Zach Pascal.
And we only pick how many?
One.
If it's a PPR, I still got James White higher. He's safest.
Vic Chan, do I start David Montgomery, Jaylen Samuels as running back 2 in standard? Have Dak, Zeke, Chark, Godwin, Galladay, Waller as starters. Have Gallup and Singletary on the bench as well.
Yeah, I stick with Samuels.
Mm-hmm. And then there's one from Jake Noonkester here I can't see.
Okay, I'll get to that one. And somebody keeps asking, like over and over and over again, is Davante worth keeping? If you're talking about Davante Adams,
yes.
Yeah.
100%.
If you've held on to him for the weeks he's not playing, why would you get rid of him when he's about to come back? Makes no sense.
Oh, my God. Bada bing, bada boom. We are not repeating what you just said in the chat.
Why? I'll say it. Hang on a second. Let me see what it is.
No, you won't.
I won't. Is it bad? I can't. Hang on. Hold, please. I'm finding it. I will find it. Who was the last one you were looking for? Jake Noonkester?
Mm-hmm.
He says, Hill, Allen Robinson, Lindsey, pick 2 in standard. So Hill, Robinson, and Phillip Lindsey in a standard league. Right now, I have Hill and Robinson higher. I don't know if that's exactly the safest option. The safer option may be Hill and Lindsey, but right now I'm riding the Lightning and going with Hill and Allen Robinson.
Somebody commented on Twitter, Amendola or Odell in a PPR. I asked the question 1,000 times and Kyle refuses to read it. Please help Jake.
Do what?
Okay. Whoever this is, if you're still in the chat, I'm not refusing to read anything. Do you see the amount of questions that are coming in?
Yeah. Obviously they don't. Let's see here. I'm still looking for what I'm not allowed. Oh yeah, I'll say it. Let's see here. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna kind of ad lib a little bit, but it says, "What's up, Headliner Nation? Just rubbing the chub. I'm about to let it flow, if you know what I mean."
Oh,
that happens
Lord.
at 10:37 East Coast time. Kyle said he wouldn't say it. I said it.
Nope.
And now Kyle will not speak anymore.
What is this?
Huh? I missed it.
JR the third sucks.
JR the third? Who's that? JR the third.
I'll have to tell you off stream.
Why?
Let's just say that he's not our counselor.
That guy blows. All right, let's see. Yeah.
You just went there quick.
I don't give a crap. I'll show.
All right, real quick, while we got 797 people watching right now because we are just having one heck of an evening.
Yeah, we're having fun. It says, Juan Bin. Kyle hates me. Help me out, Jake. Why do you hate Juan Bin, Kyle? Tell me first.
I don't hate anybody.
Anybody?
Y'all got to calm down.
You don't hate anybody. There's got to be one person right now that you hate.
Apparently two. I don't know if it's the same person or not.
Let's see here. Apparently Juan is just wanting to hate because there's another Juan that says, let's go talk fantasy talk. Well, we've been talking fantasy for 90 minutes. We're having fun. Don't like it? Go do your own live stream because we don't care.
That's just how we feel around here.
Okay, so Juan Bin. Hopefully you're different than Juan because Juan can go pound sand. Walton or Juju in a standard league. 100% going Juju over Walton this week in a standard league. There. Kyle doesn't hate you.
Here's the thing, too, real quick. So for all of you watching right now, I don't know if you all know this. The question came up on Need Upside says Kyle hates me too. That is accurate. I do not like him at all.
I told you. You hated somebody.
So this question actually came up on Twitter. There was a tweet that was sent out yesterday about comment below with your favorite fantasy football personalities that don't do this full time that you think that should be doing it. And Jake retweeted it and said, do you think we should be doing this full time? And the questions that we got kind of surprised me because I don't know if you all know this or not, but Jake and I don't do this full time. No. This is not our full-time job. Well, Jake and I have full-time 40 to 60 hour a week jobs that we have to work outside of this. And then we come home and be fathers and husbands, and then we do this as well. So saying all that there right is a little bit of just a reminder. If you're out there and you love the content we're putting out and you want to see more content, better content, if you want us to continue to take this channel, this community to the next level, if you could help support on Patreon, that would be awesome. You can sign up for as little as $1 a month. And we got some really cool things. For everyone that signs up, we've got phone backgrounds. So if you, for your cell phone, what we'll do is we'll send you a background for your phone. We got a lot of different ones. They say Headliner Nation, exclusive member of Headliner Nation. They can have your name on it. One says, all I do is win fantasy championships. So just a little something for you that we'll send to you if you sign up on Patreon to help support the channel, for you to be an exclusive member of Headliner Nation. $1 is what you can do. Yep, right there is one of them. All I do is win. That's one of. I've got one on my phone as well.
Says Kyle. Yeah.
Yep. There's one on my phone as well. Just a little something. Just a little something as a thank you to bring you into the exclusive Fantasy Headliners, exclusive Headliner Nation. Because we would like to do it. There's a lot of things. Jake and I have some really great ideas. And for $1 a month, $12 a year, you can help support this and you can be an exclusive part of Headliner Nation. We've got a lot of cool things coming with Patreon, some exclusive things for you as well. So just letting you know, someone just said a signed jersey. We've done a lot of signed jersey giveaways. For us to continue to do that stuff, okay, we have to be able to, you know, make this continue to produce and bring in that revenue and things like that. So anything you can do to help, then that just allows us to continue to give back to you. Absolutely.
Well said, Kyle. Well said. Very.
It's the tennis racket and glasses.
That's right. It's like you kind of had yourself a Will Ferrell old school. Have you seen that movie?
Yes.
When he blacks out and answers the answer correct, that's what you just did. Perfect.
Someone said feed the 4 people. How many children will it feed? I get it. If you support other causes, absolutely nothing against that whatsoever. Okay. But to go back to that, Jake and I this year have done a live stream where we've donated the entire revenue generated from the live stream to the American Red Cross to help with the hurricane that came through. Yep. So we've done that. We gave away $1,000 just a couple of days ago
to a random person in the community.
A couple of days ago.
Yep. We've sponsored youth sports teams before. Yep. I mean, we do a lot of stuff for the community. That's what we're trying to really accomplish. So that's what we're trying to get at. Absolutely.
Yep. So, I mean, I understand what you're saying with that. You know, why would I send my money to a fantasy football channel? I could do that. That's up to you. But just so you know, we want to give back to the community. That's what we want to do. We want to do bigger things. We want to get out on the road. We want to come and meet you. We want to do things, charitable work and stuff like that. I mean, these are all things we want to do, but we have to be able to create revenue, grow this channel, and you could help be a part of that. And we would really appreciate it.
We need to blossom the channel. Something like that. That was awkward. All right, let's get a couple more questions, and then let's go Headliners After Dark, Kyle.
Okay.
You got any other questions over there we need to catch up on?
I'm scrolling down.
Now scrolling.
Ken wants to know Davante Bigfoot, fantasy Bigfoot Parker.
Yep.
Preston Williams or Danny Amendola or Stills in a full PPR.
Full PPR, give me Amendola.
Carl S says MG3 or Marvin Jones.
MG3.
I don't know if I can read this either.
Do I need to read it?
Probably.
Hang on.
There's also one below it from iShine that I can't read. I can't see it.
Maria Sharapova over there giving me half chub. Wow. Is that
Thanks?
You, Kyle?
I don't know.
Are you Maria Sharapova?
I don't think. Nope.
You don't think so?
No.
It's possible?
Maybe.
Wow. Awkward. All right, let's see here. iShine says PPR Sony or Devin Singletary. But for the fact that this is now 10:45, we're going to call him Devin Dingleberry. So are we going with Sony Michel or Dingleberry in a full? I'm guessing it's a full PPR. Which one are you going with, Kyle?
I'll go with Sony Michel still.
Yep, so do I. I still have him ranked a little bit higher. Oh, man. This is a lot of fun. Who's having fun out there? You know,
still 745 people hanging on right now.
Of course they are. They're having a great time on Saturday.
See you, Headliner Nation.
Let's see here. Somebody says, would you guys start Joe this week? I don't know who Joe is. I don't know anybody cool named Joe, so probably not.
John Moore says, Gardner, a little concerned about your game tomorrow when you're focused on tennis.
Yeah, exactly.
LOL. Awesome job, guys. Thanks, John.
Carlos Perez says, Jake, you sound like Seth Rogen. Do the Rogen laugh. I don't even know what the Rogen laugh is.
I don't either. It's like, see, I can't do it either.
That sounds like a drunk seal or something. I don't
know
what he sounds like.
If you're part of Headliner Nation, you've been here for the live streams before. We'll continue to throw in some fantasy football questions. But like Jake said, this is Headliners After Dark. So this is where we start to take, personal type questions. Anything that you want to ask, the Mr. Fantasy headliner, and Gardner going to play tennis tomorrow.
Gardner Sharapova.
Maria Shara Andre Agassi Pova, whatever I've been called tonight. Yeah. Anything you want to ask, throw it out there. We're gonna chat for a little bit now. We've been answering fantasy football questions for an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's time to have some fun for the next 10 or 15 minutes or so. And then we're gonna get out of here because it's Saturday night. Okay, serious question. Carlos Perez says. It's fantasy related though. Amendola or Dorsett in a non-PPR? I'm still going with Amendola.
Yeah, I'm still going with Amendola.
Let's see here. Life advice. Yay. Well, I don't know if it's exactly life advice. It may be life comments.
Let's hear it.
Some of these I can't read, but they're amazingly funny. What teams are you guys fans of? From Fruit Salad 07. Kyle?
Basically anything in Michigan. Lions, Tigers,
and Bears,
Red Wings, Pistons, Wolverines. That's where all my teams are at.
The Pistons? Can you tell me one player that plays on the Detroit Pistons right now?
Derrick Rose.
Wow, you got one.
Blake Griffin.
Wow, you got two.
Andre Drummond is still there.
Okay, so you got three. Who are the other parts of their starting lineup?
Who knows?
Who knows at this point? My team, I grew up in Arizona as an Arizona Cardinals fan. I know. Thank you for your pity. But we're building. We're building back up again, and our time is coming. Outside of that, huh?
Here's one for you.
Okay.
Tommy Williams wants to know, how has this channel changed our lives?
We get a lot less sleep now.
That's true. That's very true.
I no longer watch TV outside of football because I have no time. Let's see what else has changed. I see my family a lot less than I used to.
Which is the tough part of it.
Yeah. I mean, like Kyle said before, with us working other full-time jobs, it is not out of the realm. And this is 100% serious. When I go to work, I work from 6 a.m. to 4:30 in the morning, my normal day job. Then I will come home and I will start doing this type of work, research and recording and editing and uploading from about 5:30 until about 11:30 every single night. And then I'll have a break in the middle there for like an hour with dinner with my family. And that's our life. That's my life almost every single day.
Basically the same thing. 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. Not doing it this semester, but I also used to teach. I haven't been able to teach this semester because of my schedule at work. But I also used to teach. We'll be getting back to it here pretty soon. So I would have class that I have to go to a couple nights a week as well. But I mean, there are definitely some tough nights. I mean, tonight was one of those nights. Like, my kids, both of them wanted me to relax with them right before bed. And I was like, I've spent the entire night with you guys. We went trick-or-treating because it was canceled. It was canceled on Thursday, moved to today. I was like, but I've got a live show at 9:00. I have to go do this. I'm so sorry. So then tomorrow, it's one of those feelings. I go to bed tonight. I'm like, I wish I could just spend a little bit more time with them. But they understand and they love it, especially when I bring the channel up on the TV and I let them watch the PG episodes. The ones
not the headliners after dark. They don't get to watch that.
No,
absolutely no. It's a lot of fun though. Don't get me wrong. We do it because we love it, but it is a lot of work. It's not easy and it's not glamorous. We're not on the internet getting rich quick. If that's your question. Glenn Register, he sent in a question that's fantasy related that we need to get to here real quick. It says Fitzmagic or Jackson, and then he says JK. Just kidding. Wanted to see Jake's face. He wants to know if he should start Sam Darnold over Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers.
Not Rodgers.
No. Jackson, I wouldn't hate it, but I couldn't start him over Aaron Rodgers.
No.
All right. We got any more headliners after dark questions there, Kyle?
Somebody wants to know, how did we join up to create the headliners? I had nothing to do with creating it.
No, I created it a couple years ago, and then I worked with Kyle one time last year, early in the season, like around July. And then I asked him if he had crabs or liked crabs, something like that. And ever since that, we gelled, and now we work together. Carl S. wants to know where I got the Baker Mayfield painting behind me. I got it off of Etsy, which is a website full of cool things. However, it was a company named Pix Artsy, but they're not out there anymore. So
they gone.
They're. I tried to search for them a week or so ago, and they're not out there anymore. So, maybe I have one of the final copies, and maybe at some point, I'll give it away for free.
David Hathaway says, "Do I start Kyle's sunglasses or Jake's funny signs?"
I mean, both are pretty epic.
I am pulling off the sunglasses tonight.
Yeah, you can do that.
Look in #Hellafire.
Hellafire.
Johnny says, though, if you had to pick a final meal, what would you have?
A very big one.
Yes.
If I
like,
had
I'd
to...
rather just die from the meal itself. Just eat until I pass out and don't wake up.
Go into a food coma. I mean, I am a what?
I like this question.
This one right here?
No, one that I just saw.
Yeah.
Continue with this one.
I mean, this one is tough. I mean, I'm a meat and potatoes type of guy. So, I mean, a big old fat steak with some baked potatoes, with some corn on the cob, whatever it is. As long as there's meat and potatoes involved, I'm good to go.
I don't want any side dishes. Give me all main entrees. I definitely want some shrimp. I want some ribs. Couple White Castle sliders in there as well.
Wow, that's disgusting.
Some pulled pork sandwiches with coleslaw on top. I do like that.
Okay.
I do like that. So Wendy's McNuggets asks, how do you prepare for public speaking when you've never done public speaking before? This is right down my alley because I teach public speaking. So I love this question. It's about practice, practice, practice. And it's what I tell my students all of the time. If you don't practice, you are not going to get better at it. So if you've never done it before, the best thing that you can absolutely do is get a group of people together to watch you do it. Okay. So practice with yourself in front of the mirror, videotape yourself, watch it back. Okay. Do all of that and then practice in front of people that you're closer with just to kind of help relieve some of that stress. Okay. And then when you go up there, you'll start feeling a little bit better. Okay. But you have to know your stuff. Okay. Present on something that you know about, know the material, because if you sound confident in yourself, you're going to sound better to the audience.
Agreed. Another way, put a camera in front of you. Doing this right here with this thing pointed at my face, it helps out a lot because even though that there's nobody else in the room, it feels like there's people watching.
Mm-hmm.
So here's another question, Kyle. Jay Fizzle, Jake or Kyle, who wins an MMA fight?
Jesus, why do we always have to fight or do something like that?
I don't know.
I don't want to fight Jake. It wouldn't make any sense.
Me neither. But if we had to, who wins?
Well, here's the thing. If we had to, I would let you win because I wouldn't want to lose my job.
Wow. He just went there. All right, here's a great question from Mark Hall. On to a more industry-related question. Do you guys look at other people's rankings before deciding your own? Not before. I do afterwards.
It depends, yes. It also depends on what you mean. Do I look at other people's rankings? Like I spend a lot of time on Twitter. So sometimes I see some things on Twitter. I'm like, oh man, that's like really good information or something like that. So I definitely don't sit here and try to pretend like I know absolutely everything. I mean, every once in a while I'll see something and I'll be like, this is really good information. I got to remember this when I'm doing my rankings, and I keep stuff like that in the back of my head. But that's why we do the ranking shows later in the week, because we've had some questions about that. And we do start and sit first because we're doing all of our research through the week, listening to injuries. Are people going to play? Are they questionable? Stuff like that. And then we do our rankings more towards like Thursday night. Like I start my rankings right before kickoff on Thursday Night Football typically.
Yep. I mean, for me, I'll do my rankings, and then I'll go through other people's rankings just to make sure there isn't some glaring difference that I may have overlooked or missed. But outside of that, I don't want to be influenced by others' rankings, so I try to keep them myself.
Peter says, yo, Kyle, thanks for the public speaking advice. That's crazy. I just started my public speaking class today. When you go back to class, bring up this video and say, yo, this guy right here might be the best public speaking instructor in the nation. Okay.
But then they're going to look at you and not take you seriously at all.
But I sound confident.
That's right. You do.
What I'm doing.
Hey, Shane Fuco has a question for us here real quick. Appreciate you, Shane. It says, sit one, please. Half PPR. You guys are awesome. Thanks. Appreciate you, Shane. Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, Melvin Gordon, Jaylen Samuels, Zeke Elliott, and Davante Adams. We have to sit one of them, Kyle. Hopefully this is easy and Davante Adams, for your sake, sits and doesn't play. That makes it easier. Outside of that, though, I don't want to sit Zeke. Can't sit Zeke. You can't sit Evans or Hill. So it's really between sitting Melvin Gordon or Jaylen Samuels. Jaylen Samuels may be the safer play.
Yeah.
He may be safer. Personally, I still have Melvin Gordon higher in my rankings this week. I don't want to sit any of them. If I had to, I sit Melvin Gordon just because of the struggles he's had to start the season. But, I mean, I don't like that either.
iShine101 asks if there are any other fantasy guys you admire.
Admire?
Mm-hmm.
No, not really. I don't admire a lot of people. Respect. I can say respect. There's a lot that I respect a lot of others, but I don't really admire them because I don't want to be somebody else. I want to be who I am and make it mine, not what somebody else is.
Yeah. So I will say this. I know a lot of people don't love his fantasy advice and they don't think it's very good. But Matthew Berry is always somebody that I greatly respected. And I loved his work because of his writing style. Because initially, when I started in this industry, I started as a writer. I didn't start doing all this video stuff until I met Jake. So I did a lot of writing stuff, and a lot of my writing, I kind of did like him, like some storyish type things to it, not directly to the point like we do from here. I tried to put my personality in it. So that was, I mean, when Matthew Berry followed me on Twitter and I got to kind of chat with him back and forth a little bit, like that was one of those things that was like, holy crap. Like it got me pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I admire his work. I do. I really like that.
Great answer, Kyle. Just throwing it out there, not going to read the question, but Wendy's McNuggets, Leonard Fournette, 100%. Steve Gray has a question for us. Julio's on a bye. Godwin slides into his wide receiver 1 slot. That's great. Full point PPR pick 2. Sutton, Crowder, Shepard. Convince me with who you pick. I have to convince you. So full point PPR pick 2. Sutton, Crowder, Shepard. I mean, personally, I know Shepard come back this week off of multiple concussions. There's still other solidified options in that offense now with Darius Slayton, Evan Ingram. Golden Tate is more established now since Shepard went out. Personally, Crowder with a great matchup going up against the Miami Dolphins, and Sutton, somebody who's been very consistent this year. I believe he's had over 7 targets every single week. Yes, it's a new quarterback. However, he still is the number 1 option there. Sutton and Crowder would be my choice just for this week. Going forward, though, Shepard does have some upside.
We got the question, who can eat more?
Both. I mean, it depends. If we're eating White Castle, it's Kyle.
That's because you're not even trying.
No, I'm not. Kyle tried to poison me one time with White Castle.
I have seen this question a few times now about what do we think about Kareem Hunt coming back. So here's the thing. I don't think he affects Nick Chubb in any way, shape, or form. I think Chubb is fine. I think Chubb is still a top 10 running back, top 5 running back, whatever you want to call him. I think it's absolutely fine. I will say before the season started, I said, I don't think Hunt has much of an impact. However, this team has been so bad on the offensive side of the ball that I think they're going to get him involved now. But I don't think it takes anything away from what they've been doing with Chubb.
Yeah, and kind of look at it this way. The fumbles the past couple weeks are not helping Nick Chubb whatsoever.
Yeah.
But he hasn't really done anything to lose work outside of the last 2 weeks. He's been one of the best running backs in football. He's been their only source of offense. I don't think they're just going to come out all of a sudden and give all of the work to Kareem Hunt. He may be worked in there from now, time and again, but Nick Chubb is still going to finish as a running back 1.
Jorge Sanguino, maybe for the last name, says, greetings from Mexico. Lindsey, Michelle, or Samuels at Samuels for me this week.
100%.
Here's the thing, Jorge, just to give you a heads up too, you've typed that question probably 700 times in the last 30 seconds. Be careful spamming the chat. We have nothing to do with it. but YouTube apparently has become very fickle on people doing that, and they will lock your account down. So just be careful. Heads up. We care about you all. Just throwing that out there.
Yep, absolutely. Chris Crisco sent us a question that I'll answer for us here, Kyle. He says, should I trade Aaron Jones for Michael Thomas? I have Todd Gurley and Austin Eckler to fill the number 1 and 2 running back slot. It's a half-point PPR. I don't know if I'm comfortable with Gurley and Eckler as my 1 and 2. Personally. It depends who your wide receivers are, though.
I'm not comfortable with it at all. However, Michael Thomas is the much better value there, to be honest.
In my opinion, he's the best player in the trade that's involved. It worries me. Like, what do you have right now at wide receiver? Maybe you don't need him as bad as you think. What is it, Kyle? You hung your head in disgust.
True Legend went from having a fetish with my feet to your belly button.
I'm not mature enough for comments like that, Kyle. All right. 2 more questions, and it's 11 o'clock. It's time for bed.
Evan Wheeler is asking about like high stakes leagues. Like, what's the highest stake league that we've ever been in before? I think the most I've ever paid for like a fantasy league itself is $100. Like, I haven't done anything crazy before. I just don't. Doing all of this stuff, it's really hard to get into a league like that because you have to be so on top of it. Like, if I have a really busy week and I miss out like on a waiver claim or something like that, it's like, okay, that happens. But in those high stake leagues, when you're putting hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars on the table, you have to be able to hit it every single week. And it can be hard to do that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think I've played more money in DFS than I do probably in season-long leagues. And the reason I do that is I do this so much. I do so much YouTube and so much content for so many other people's rosters. I really don't even look at my rosters probably as much as I should because I don't have the time to do it. So I don't invest huge dollar amounts myself on season-long leagues, but in DFS, I'll put some more money out there.
I literally just backed out, not in the middle of the season, like I told him at the end of the season. I just told like the commish for 3 of my dynasty leagues that I'm leaving at the end of the season because I don't have any time for it anymore.
And that's the whole thing. We're too busy trying to make sure we put out good content for everybody, accurate content that we're not spending probably the times that we should on our own leagues, but that's just part of the business.
Yep. Who needs some life advice, some sage life advice?
One more life advice question, and then we're getting out of here.
Who needs us to help heal their soul?
Yeah, heal their soul. Wow, Kyle, I don't know if we have that power, but I mean, it's close.
Who needs me to whisper to them?
Nobody does.
We're going to go.
Everybody just has fantasy questions.
We're going to start doing videos like this to help people fall asleep at night. They can listen to the sweet, sweet whispers.
Wow. This is a little crazy. Neil Hayes says, hey, 2 quick questions. Jake, Wildcats or Sun Devils? I'm more of a Sun Devils guy. And also, should I flex McLaurin, Landry, or Gallup? Were awesome. I have Gallup ranked the highest out of all of those.
We got a question from Chris. Nehring? Did we get that one yet?
I don't know.
I can't see it.
Let me see.
Ooh, here's a good one. I like this.
You like it, Kyle?
A couple of different ones.
You have a couple of different questions?
Mm-hmm. You gotta answer Chris's question first, though.
All right. I'll look for that. Hang on a second. You keep going with whatever your question is. I'll look for it.
BJ wants to know, should I let my 10-year-old son play tackle football? That is a great question. In my area, to be honest, kids cannot play, or they don't have any tackle football leagues until they're in middle school. So they'd have to be at least in middle school to start playing tackle football in my area, which I don't mind. Because the one thing that I like, so my son does flag football right now and has for a few years. And the one thing that I like is with flag football, they've really, really reinforced learning about the game and learning how it's played, learning the fundamentals and the techniques. And sometimes that's difficult For some coaches, okay, not all coaches are the best coaches in the world, but some coaches are so get in there, hit them, let's go. Like, and that's okay. That works in some instances. And I'm not trying to, tell you if that's the way you are as a coach, you're a bad coach. However, when they're younger kids and you're more worried about them making high impact tackles and trying to degrade the other team or trying to show up there, when you get coaches like that, then you start to get away from the love of the game and learning to play it correctly and stuff like that. So if that's all they have in your area and your son wants to play with it and you're comfortable with that, I don't have any issues with it. If my son comes to me and says, I want to play tackle football, I'm probably not going to tell him no. Now, if he gets his bell rung super hard one game, then we're probably going to have sit down and have a discussion at that point and decide whether or not he should go forward with it. But that's completely, that's a family decision. You got to sit down and have that conversation with your significant other, with your child, explain to them, the pros and cons of playing and, just make a well-informed decision.
All right, 2 things. 1, I'll answer that. 2, Chris, ask your question right here because I don't see it. Just throw it here in the chat and I'll be looking out for it. Now, for should you let your kid play tackle football, let's be, in my opinion, I'm going to be a realist here. You know your child pretty well. I have a son downstairs who's 12 years old, and he's not built for football yet. He's tall, he's skinny, he's lanky. There's certain types that are ready for stuff like that, and you as a parent have to be able to know that beforehand. If you're putting your son in tackle football so you can live vicariously through your son, then it's not the right time to do it. If you're doing it because he's physically ready enough, that's a different story. I'm not against it. I like Kyle said, though, he mentioned one really good thing there is flag football at a young age is very important, I think, because they learn the fundamentals of the game. They learn the rules a little bit more, and it kind of helps them have a solid base before they go out there and duck their head and try to make a Sports Center tackle just because it's the cool thing to do. It really depends, but as a parent, just ask yourself that question beforehand. Am I doing this because I want to see him do it, or am I doing it because he wants to do it and he's ready for it? And that's kind of what I do with mine. For Chris's question here, it popped up and it says, for my second flex, I'm a half PPR league, Madison. So Alexander Madison or Chris Connolly?
Connolly if Westbrook is out.
If Westbrook sits, it's going to be Chris Connolly, but I do like Alexander Madison this week. He's had double-digit carries 2 out of the last 3 weeks, and I think that they kind of continue that game plan to keep Dalvin Cook fresh.
All right, so here's a non-fantasy football related question. We'll do this one, then we'll answer 2 more fantasy football questions. Okay. How about that?
Okay.
So this comes from Vic, and I think this is a really good one, and we're going to get into one of Kyle's philosophical type conversations here real quick. I like to do this every time or from time to time on the channel because I have a platform. I'm fortunate enough to have a platform, and I like to share my thoughts and opinions to help people around me. If I can help one person a day, I've done my job. Vic says, how do you stay calm at bad times? And I think that is an awesome question because Jake and I, and Jake, I don't want to speak for you, but I think you'll agree with me that we get pretty stressed out about this stuff sometimes. And that it really does take Jake and I talking to each other to say, hey man, yep, absolutely. I mean, there was a comment that was made to Jake a couple of weeks ago. I'm not going to repeat it on air. It was that bad. We had to report the person for malicious intent or whatever it was because it was that bad. And it got to Jake. I had someone make a comment about me being a dad a couple of weeks ago because I gave bad fantasy advice to him, apparently. That got to me as well. And when we are in those instances where we are really upset and we have to calm ourselves down, it's about remembering the good. What do we have around us that's working well right now? Who do we have around us that's supporting us right now? What is the glass half full moments in our life? And that is extremely, extremely important. And it's something as I get older, I've tried to do more and more of. Me as a person, again, sharing some things here real quick. I've had an issue with high blood pressure for a while now. I finally have gotten that to a point where my doctor is satisfied with it. I have some stuff that runs in my family in terms of high anxiety, and I deal with that on a day-to-day basis at times as well. So I have to find ways to keep myself calm because there are times when I can get really upset about things and I let it get to me and I'm like, I really should have gotten this right, or I should have done this, but you have to realize it's life and we're all going to make mistakes. We're going to screw up, but it's how you come back from those things. It's how you learn from those things. It's how you become a better person. Those are the things you have to remember. You have to remember whether you've got your kids or your wife or your husband or mom and dad. It doesn't matter, that you've got people around you, and you've got to think about those people in those situations and to say, you know what? How would they want me to handle this? How would they want me to calm down? How would they want me to take the situation and take it from bad to better?
Yep. And I've seen some people, as you've just been talking in the comments, saying, hey, you can't let the haters get to you. And one thing that I got to respond to that is it's really easy to say that. But when you get threatening messages towards your family, and it's hard to not just want to fly off the handle. I would almost guarantee you that everybody who says something like that through a keyboard would not say that to our face. And if that's the type of person you are, we're not going to give you a whole lot of time. No, we'll block you from the channel in a heartbeat. This is a very positive community, but I don't have any time for that. And even though, we don't let it get to us, it's still enough to piss you off, because I think a lot of people, especially those who are still watching us here right now, probably the loyalist of this channel, realize we put a lot into this. A lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifices into doing this, and to turn around and to be threatened because I didn't have David Montgomery as a start last week is absolutely mind-boggling to me. So there's that out there. That's one of the negatives of doing something like this. It's not glamorous, and we're not being recognized in public, and we're not out there, making it rain $100 bills. We're out here just trying to have fun and be successful with what we're passionate in. And a lot of people take it too far. That's just part of it. Unfortunately, that's probably not going to change, though.
Yep. No, but I mean, you said it perfectly. It can be really hard to just put it out. I mean, we get it all the time. Don't worry about the haters. And it's easy to think that, but when you sit down and you go through YouTube comments on Sunday afternoon and you see, oh, you suck. Oh, you missed this. Oh, you screwed up. Oh, and it's just constant sometimes, because maybe we did call one person wrong that week. I mean, we might have answered thousands of questions correctly, and it's just something we have, to learn to deal with better. But again, it's looking at it and saying, hey, the people that are here right now, the 563 people that are watching right now, you guys are freaking awesome. Men, women, doesn't matter who's out there. You're awesome. We appreciate your support. It's remembering you people in this moment, and that's what you have to do.
Yep, absolutely. And Dirty Mike just said it perfectly. Just don't suck. Just don't suck. Awesome. Well, Kyle, that was a very successful live stream. 2 hours and 13 minutes.
Hey, Jake.
What?
Jake.
What?
Sean said I love you guys.
Oh, God.
I love you, Sean.
Wow. Now we took a perfectly great live stream and you just killed it in the last 30 seconds.
That was an awesome live stream. Right. I had a bunch of fun tonight.
Look at Anna throwing something. I'm scared to read it.
Oh, Anna!
I'm scared to read it. Last time she sent me a question, it had to do with me telling me I don't last as long as I think I do. Y'all are awesome. Those people who make those comments are POSs. Agreed. I pick on y'all because I love you. Keep being y'all. Well, we understand when it's for fun, and we like to have fun, and we do that kind of stuff all the time. We're all about going back and forth and having a good time too. It's just some people take it too far. Mikey Mink wants to know why Kyle's still holding the racket. I mean, it's just things happen, Mikey. This late on a Saturday night, things happen. But hey, we greatly appreciate you guys. The 558 of you who are still watching right now. And we've kind of just been rambling for 30, 45 minutes, but this is what this channel is about. It's not just fantasy football, because at some point that kind of gets a little bit, it's fun, it's a game, but some people take it too seriously. This is the kind of stuff that me and Kyle do like to do. Talk to people, give advice on things, give perspective on things. We're not telling anybody to do anything, but this is where this channel wants to go in the future. Not just fantasy football, reaching out to the community and doing more things. So it's been a lot of fun, but it is 11:15 at night, and I have to wake up early again, which is awesome. So we're probably going to get out of here for the night. Kyle, he's rubbing the racket for True Legend. After everything True Legend has said tonight, Kyle is rubbing his racket. And now he's kissing it. All right, hey, you guys have a great weekend. Good luck in all of your games tomorrow. Hopefully everybody goes out there and absolutely kills it. Hazelnut, I see you out there. Holla for a dollar. Keo Dahui, Watkins, Samuels, Sanu, Jeffrey, Amendola, 4ST. I don't know. I think that's 4 starts. So we're sitting 1. And if I'm sitting 1, I'm sitting Sanu. So, hey, that's my take for the day. Kyle, you want to end it with anything besides a whisper?
Headliner Nation, I freaking love you all.
Freaking.
I said freaking.
I know, you freaking love it.
I didn't say the other word,
no, I know,
which I say a lot, so you're lucky.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't put it past you at this point. At this point, we're probably a little sleep deprived, so awesome. All right, well, you guys have a great rest of your evening. We'll talk to you guys this coming up week. Have a good one.
See ya.